And we are live.
It's all Ten Hag's fault. That's all. I've just been reading the comments.
What's he done to you now?
Nothing. Actually, for once.
Just a wanker.
Ask me next weekend because we got them then.
Well, Ancelotti's coming in. Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
So Jim's gone, do you know what? We do want to get rid of Ten Hag after all. So let's just give the best manager that Chelsea have ever had.
They've actually, genuinely, they should have gone for Ancelotti right after Fergie probably. But he's probably doing bits at Real Madrid at the time.
Yeah.
Big love to everyone in the chat. We were saying your little messages. Big love to you all. Audio is fucked. It might just be you. You might want to refresh, bro. We finally got the timer on. Big J-Man over here sorted us out because I'm too thick to know how to do that. The reverb. Should I talk slower for you guys? We're only getting 2 people mentioning it. We've done my best.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
We shouldn't.
We've got a fucking timer. You stop your fucking whinging, really. But yeah, it's Newcastle United away to PSG. It's big time. Do you know what I mean? This is do or die. And really, if we lose tonight, that's us probably out.
Yeah, but you live for moments like this. Look, you've been waiting for these Champions League nights. And do you know what? This is what the Champions League is all about big crunch games against some of the biggest teams in Europe.
Yeah.
And we've got it tonight.
This is what we signed up for.
You've done them once already, mate. Why are we nervous?
No,
you've done them.
It's not even nervous. It's more just like, I feel like the lads, if I was to give a little bit of a chat, even maybe he's in Eddie Howe's ear, I'd just say, just remember this, right? There's no pressure. No. Like, we are not supposed to qualify. It was called the Group of the Deaf for a reason. And look, we had a great start to it. Had a couple of rocky moments through, naturally, injuries, fatigue, and all the rest of it. But I believe, I am a believer in Eddie Howe. I'm a believer in these lads. Obviously, we're just off the back of a great result against Chelsea.
Yeah.
And when I look at this PSG team, I do see holes. I see weaknesses, but I see a hell of a lot of talent, you know? So we've got to play on the edge and just go after them, really. And I'd rather go down swinging. And I'd be comfortable with that than just to try, because against Dortmund we paid them too much respect. I do not want to do that again. No chance.
The real questions are the matchups here. Would you rather have Mbappe or Isak? You know, it's a hard one.
Anthony Gordon.
Yeah. Would you rather have Marquinhos or would you rather have Paul Dummett? You know,
God bless.
You know,
good old
it's
Paul
easy.
Dummett.
It's easy, really.
We are bottom of the group on 4 points. You got Milan on 5, PSG on 6, Dortmund on 7. And look, but we're still in with a chance here, you know? If we win our last 2 games, that's it.
Yeah.
Part of me doesn't want the Europa League, though. I'm kind of like...
Why not?
I just don't think we've got the squad. Look, we haven't got the squad for any of this shit. Quite clearly, that's been exposed. But if we can stay in the Champions League, then obviously we want to. But it is really impacting our season. Horrendously.
I wouldn't downrate the quality of the Europa League and what it takes to win that. I.e. the prestige of winning that. If you
I just don't think we've got the squad, bro.
I think, but you know,
we haven't got the squad to win the Champions League. That's acknowledged.
Yeah.
Even in a fully fit squad, we haven't got that. But to be in the Champions League is such a privilege. The Europa League is not the same level of privilege to be in it, and I just don't think the taking part is going to be worth what it's going to do to our season. Because as much as I believe we could win the Europa League, we're already just a bit of a shambles in terms of injuries.
Yeah.
And to see us, Joel Willock getting injured before the last game, for him to have a setback after he's been out for months, it was really gutting. I never thought I'd be this bothered about losing Joel Willock, but he is such a player for us when he's available. And it's but look, we've literally gone with the same 11 as the last game.
Makes sense.
And we've still got 3 goalkeepers. You know,
you have about 3 people on the bench.
We've got 7. We've got 7 goalies. Subs. We were allowed 9.
Yeah.
So we haven't got enough players to even. And obviously the subs, they're all kids. So the only bit of quality we've got on the bench is your boy
Lewis Hall.
Yeah, which
love him.
Big fan. Yeah, the more I see him, the more I like him. And the more I see the lad we've got at fullback Livramento and Lewis Hall, but particularly Livramento so far, he looks like he is going to be one of the best fullbacks in the Premier League.
Oh God, yeah. And we knew that was coming from a Chelsea
I
fan
didn't.
perspective.
I'm
knew
shocked,
it.
mate.
We saw it at Chelsea, and this is why.
How
did we see it?
Sorry, at Southampton,
Yeah,
he obviously got relegated.
he was their best player.
But for you to let him go, it's staggering to me.
Well, that's the thing. The thing is, when you're Tino Livramento, though, you have Reece James in front of you. You have probably one of the best right backs in the world in front of you, and this is the problem with the conveyor belt of the Chelsea academy. You know, Cobham, La Masia. You know, you've got that problem where you get blocked. You have someone in front of you.
I'd be interested in. They're pretty similar in age, right? I would be interested to see who goes further in their career.
I honestly
it's not
think
a full
with the
grown-
injuries, I think there's a very strong chance that Reece does drop off.
No, because
I think there's a very strong chance.
like Reece James to me is phenomenal. But when I watch Reece James and I watch Livramento, they're comparable. Like there's like right now, I'm yet to see enough of Livramento to really give you a full, like, exact assessment of where he is, where he's going to go. Going forward, Reece James is really special at times.
Yeah.
But even Livramento set that goal up against Man United at Old Trafford the other day. I was like, wow, this kid can go forward
Mate,
as well.
we were happy to offload Cesar Azpilicueta, probably one of the best players that we've had at Chelsea for the last 10 years. We were happy to pack his bags and let him go so that Livramento had a chance to get in the squad.
Yeah.
And that was when he was a 19-year-old kid, let alone what he is now. So this is the problem. Like we see and identify these talent, but the problem is with FFP now, the way that it's going to work is we're going to end up selling more and more of these players. And what Chelsea fans actually want is we want to go back to that era. We want to go back to that era of the Frank Lampard era where we had the transfer ban. Everything was against us, but we were playing those young boys. And do you know what? We still made Champions League in that season. Mm-hmm. You know, when we were playing, Tomori, when we were playing a young Mason Mount, when we were playing Tammy Abraham, it made a massive difference. And I tell you what, if you could just suck up a few of those young academy boys from Chelsea,
that's literally what we're doing.
You could honestly do a lot worse.
But what is mental? I mean, obviously, Chelsea have been used to this, letting players go over the years and seeing them do well because you've had so many great players in the squad. It's bound to happen. But to have two young lads from the academy in Hall and Livramento, potentially playing at a higher level than Chelsea would be weird, would be mental. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but
I think it could happen very realistically, and also. I think you're going to find out very soon that Lewis Hall is better in the centre of midfield. And the quicker you realise that, the better.
Well, I expect them to come on in this game in a midfield capacity because we have got Lewis Smiley, who's very young. And 17 years old, Champions League debut at PSG Stadium. That is wild.
I honestly thought that he was getting towards 18, but when you said the other day he's just 17.
He's 18 in May.
Yeah, that's insane.
So he's 17 for the rest of the fucking season.
And then look at that bench there. We're seeing it.
Yeah. Who knows who the fuck they are?
yeah.
Like, literally. But no, my heart's with the lads tonight. I feel like I'm really investing in a football team in a way I haven't done before since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Like I like these guys. I forgive them for their mistakes. I appreciate their effort because you can see they're trying. And there's this misconception about Newcastle fans that we think we deserve to be in the Champions League. I don't think we do at all. If anything, this season's proved it's a lot. It's a lot for us right now.
Yeah.
But the effort levels from the lads just consistently, I really do appreciate it. And hopefully we can just give everything tonight and let the fucking chips fall where they do. We're about to kick off.
I think if you get a result tonight, you're going to prove so many people wrong. You're going to shut so many
I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked.
I wouldn't because there's a few of our players who are both. I don't know how you would define the level that they're on, but they're dangerous against any team in world football. Is the best. Yeah, they might. I don't know if you want to call them world class or whatever you want to say, but like Bruno Guimaraes, Isak, and right now Anthony Gordon are a threat. And I think Kieran Trippier at fullback, although mistakes happen in defence, as he's just giving the ball away there straight to Mbappe. The level he's been on this season at times, Trippier, is one of the best fullbacks I've seen in Premier League football. So we've got a lot to be happy about. And with Joe Linton, he's a very unique player. there's not. I don't know anyone else like him in world football really in terms of like the way he plays. It kind of reminds me of Arturo Vidal for Chelsea.
Oh wow!
Sorry, for Juventus.
Yeah.
Did he ever play for Chelsea? I feel like
No,
did.
we wanted him.
Yeah, for Juventus. When I watched him, I don't know if he's not as technically gifted as Vidal, but he's that enforcer, and he's a bully, and he really sets the fucking tone in the middle of the park, like. We're here and we mean fucking business. So you're either here for the fight or you're going to be ran over.
I mean, he's starting for Brazil, so he
mean,
must
that's
have some quality. Yeah, he must have some quality there. That to say that you've got two players out there starting midfield for Brazil playing for Newcastle is a bit insane, isn't it?
Yeah, and also I think with Bruno, the level Bruno's on, I think he's bordering on world class. Like it's touch and go.
Well, if Real Madrid want you, then you must be good.
Yeah, you think to yourself like, are there better players than him in that position? Possibly, yeah. But it's hard to fucking name them. Like, not many. Shout out to all the chat, by the way. Get your predictions in while it's 0-0.
Give your prediction as well first.
2-1 Newcastle.
2-1 Newcastle away from home.
I
love that.
I'm praying.
That's confident.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say a 2-2 draw. Love that.
Tyrone says, "How does it feel knowing Man United are back, Brian?" I mean, you know what? They definitely looked a bit better at times in that game, but I mean that insane goal is impossible to ignore. But look, for the first half, you were pretty much dominated. Weirdly enough, like the XG on that was like 2 to Everton and 0.05 to Man United. Like, you know, it's one of the weird times where a team can win 3-0 and you can question were they the better side, and that's sort of where Man United are. And me and Josh have been laughing about it all season because, you know, we've been debating like, do Man United finish higher than Chelsea? And my point was, due to their match winners, they will. Trouble at the back, over the bar, thank you. And lately it's getting more ridiculous. Like, you know, they were nicking a goal here and there with Bruno Fernandes against Burnley, for example. These special goals, they just do it every now and then, but they don't play good football. But if they can get those results behind them and start turning the performances into fucking decent performances, all of a sudden you're looking at them going, they're having a good season, which for the level of football they're playing is mental.
I'm not going to lie though. Like, let's, I know Tyrone was bantering us there, but let's not get any bones about this. You've won against Burnley, Luton,
Fulham,
Everton and Fulham.
Yeah, terrible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable squads.
Do you know what the thing is about them?
Unbelievable.
They haven't deserved to win all those games. Some of them, yeah, some of them no. But they've banked those points now. So if it does get rough, it won't really reflect how terrible they've been.
Those are your easiest games of the season, though. So if you're not winning those, then you're in trouble.
Yeah. Come on, Isak, son. I really think this cunt's a fucking ball at me. Like, oh God, that little touch. That was erotic. Yeah.
We're getting into it now, Jack.
What a guy.
We are getting into it now.
Little Lewis Smiley, my God. 17 years old.
He must be shitting himself tonight.
Do you know what it is, though? What Eddie? Can I have another drink, please, bartender? Look, Eddie said he's the real. Is that him there? No, that's Livermore. The reason Eddie said he keeps playing him is he said he's got a calm head for young shoulders. And even after the Chelsea game, he came in and obviously Eddie's like, everything all right? And he's treating it like any other game.
Yeah.
Not letting it overwhelm him. And that's where that composure comes from, is not being stressed about it, you know? Like, it's a game of football. Like, yeah, you can't let the occasion define you, but it's easier said than done. It's 17 years old. You know, I remember playing at St. James Park in some bullshit charity thing and feeling like the desperation to get on the score sheet or just to have a moment, you know. So,
yeah.
But for this guy, and this is the thing about the fan bases, from the second they see Lewis Smiley in pre-season against Chelsea, ironically, we were all like, he doesn't play like a fucking young lad. He's got this like ability, clearly. It wasn't like when we seen Sean Longstaff for the first time and we're like, he's all right. Or Matty Longstaff, his brother, or some of the other young lads. Even Elliot Anderson, like there was never any moments where everyone was like, oh yeah, that's the guy. But with Miley, everyone pretty much was like, something's there. We
Yeah.
don't know how good. Could be fucking world class. Could be just really good Premier League. But he looks like he's a Premier League footballer.
You wanted to see him. You were saying at the start of the season, like, I want to see this kid play.
Straight away.
Oh, we're playing on here.
Yes, you
Everyone thought that was
fuckers.
about-
Yes,
it's
you fucking
transitional.
prick.
You live for these moments.
Kylian Mbappe goes down like a bitch.
Here we go. We're in here. Isak picks up the ball in the edge of the
That's it.
area.
Newcastle
Gotta
playing
love it.
Newcastle style football.
Almiron, is he going to fuck it?
Aggressive football.
Linton. Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
Talking of Miley, you know, I go back to when I was 17-year-olds. I was playing in the 8th division of the Hearts Friendly League, and I was shitting my pants. So it tells you everything you need to know, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I was playing
That's a
in,
decent level, though.
yeah, I was playing park football in front of 3 people and a dog, and I was going, "Fucking hell, this is a big game. This one is a really
Come on,
big
lads, switch
game.
on.
Yeah, switch on,
Switch on, lads. Come on.
No, I wasn't doing that. I was going, "Come on, lads."
What do you
dear.
make of this? I don't know if you. I didn't watch it, but the Wolves, was it the Wolves? Fulham
What a
game?
joke! The penalty was a joke.
Oh, what a tackle! Kieran Trippier with one of the best tackles on Kylian Mbappe. It was Bobby Moore-esque.
It was
Mate,
casual. It was casual.
I've just seen Kieran Trippier do a fucking a tackle that Bobby Moore has basically been. Wow.
That was tasty.
Mate,
I like that.
he plucked the ball from Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe goes flying.
Who needs him?
Mate.
Who
do you know,
needs him?
Just
Overrated.
we were talking, there's a debate going on social media. I think it was Rio Ferdinand's show about how good Kieran Trippier is.
Yeah, it
is
was.
he the level of Gary Neville? And do you know what? I always
They
really,
laughed at that, by the way. They laughed at the comparison.
I think that's a disgrace.
Yeah.
To be honest, because as good as Gary Neville was a very good footballer, very good defender, but he was in a great team. If you put Kieran Trippier in that side behind David Beckham, if you think the level would have been noticed, have been any difference, if you'd have let them down in any way, it would have been any worse. You don't really understand how good Kieran Trippier is. And it's not a knock on. Neville was great, but Kieran Trippier has been one of the best fullbacks we've ever produced.
Oh, sorry, Hakimi is in here. This was unbelievable football. Flowing. Oh, unbelievable save.
Nick Pope. Get in,
with
son.
his feet.
Kylian Mbappe tries the clever little back heel into goal. If he'd just slotted it away and not been cocky, he probably would have scored.
This is why I think Nick Pope deserves some respect.
Put some respect on his name.
Respect on his name. It was. It's a joke that he gets that much hate, and you don't think he's good enough, do you? You would be happy to sign a world-class goalkeeper.
It's not that, right? Ooh, that is a yellow card. So, Bruno Guimaraes is fouled. There, I can't see who it was by, but it was one of those late challenges. They've not given anything. This was great football. We're seeing the replay for the Kylian Mbappe, and it was saved very well by Nick Pope with his feet. This is a really good save by Nick Pope. Like, tremendous. And look, for me, I don't not rate Nick Pope particularly. I do think he's a good goalkeeper, but if there's one thing that I've learned from watching Liverpool, for example, is when they bought Alisson, they went to another level. Like, he is an outrageously good goalkeeper. And do I think Nick Pope's a good goalkeeper? Yeah, but I don't think he's outrageously good. And I think to win titles, we've seen now by Man City and Liverpool, you need like world-class goalkeepers or you can forget it.
I think you need to, as I said before on these streams, I think you need to be careful of what you wish for, because I think you'll end up getting a goalkeeper that's very, very good with his feet, a more technical goalkeeper, and they'll do things that you'll despise. They'll do things like Alisson does in games recently, where he tries to pass it out from the back. Haaland nearly closes him down, and they nearly concede a goal.
Yeah.
I'm
not looking for too much football from them. It's the shot stopping, and occasionally, like for the Sterling free kick, which was quite central, I thought his positioning could have been better. But he did make a great save from an Enzo shot not long after that.
Yeah, a lot of Newcastle fans have said that, and again, I find that quite harsh. It wasn't in the corner, but it was a good free kick.
It was a great strike, but the fact that he didn't even jump and it was quite central, I was like, I would like to have seen you just go for it. Dortmund apparently have gone 1-0 up. Cheers for the chat for letting us know. Big love. You know what we were talking about the other day is this. Actually, I wonder if that's a bit of a debate on the kickoff. the Gary Neville. Kieran
I think we've got
Trippier.
to talk about that 100%, because I suppose you've got to then compare him to other right backs in the league. Like if you're putting Gary Neville right up there as one of the best Premier League right backs, I think there's other people you've got to put in that mix. I think you've got to put Kyle Walker in that mix.
Oh,
You know?
look, I think Kyle Walker is probably in a league of his own in that regard. I think he's just got that. I think Gary Neville does not come close to Kyle Walker. I think Man United fans, they get obsessed with the class of 92 and all of that, and I don't blame them. I mean, fuck me, they were an amazing side. But Gary Neville was a very solid, good right back.
He knew
But
his
if you
limits.
look at the numbers of assists he gets compared to Kieran Trippier, I already know Kieran Trippier is better.
Gary was playing in a different era, though. He was
Yeah.
playing in an era where a defender was a defender.
Footballers have evolved.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
look, he was the overlap. Oh, what a tackle from
Almiron.
Almiron.
Almiron's
Brilliant.
there.
In the opposition's third. Oh, the ball from Isak. The one player we never think is going to miss. Oh, but it was such a fast crossing. Part of the issue was Almiron fizzed it a bit too quickly, despite a great tackle. Got to give him credit. He made the chance himself. And he whacks it into the 6-yard box. And Almiron, he just tries to control it, and it's just over the ball. Really, Almiron, Isak should have scored that.
He should have.
Yeah.
He's blasted. He's gone for power rather than accuracy.
To be honest, I think it's come at him that quick. He's trying to guide
Yeah,
it,
but-
and it's so fast at him. That's 1-0 that normally.
Yeah, it should have been. But what great work rate. Again, we know that that's his quality, but he needs to do it. Almiron's been very good.
We're seeing on the
Look at the
table, Dortmund now top of the table, which a lot of people didn't think would happen.
Agreed.
If Newcastle beat PSG, we go second. So that's where it stands right now. Tonight, it's in our own hands. And PSG are playing dirty here. PSG they're leaving a leg in here and there.
They will.
And I think they realised in the first game, we bullied them. So now they're trying to prove a point. And luckily, Joe Linton's going to put them in their place.
It's a very open game, isn't
it's
it?
great,
Considering the quality of PSG's
Yeah.
squad,
Yeah.
you're going.
Come on, Trips. Crosses it in. Bruno.
I like that.
Oh, and
That
he's
was a
laid it
good
off to
layoff.
Almiron. And it's been kicked out. I kind of wanted Bruno to have a crack there, actually.
He wasn't in the best position in the world to do the shot, so I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I think that was quite smart.
We were talking on the kickoff. Wait, I'm going to look at some chat.
Walker, James, Trent, Walker. Oh, he said Walker twice. Walker, James, and Trent are better than Neville.
Yeah,
I think
th-
a
this
lot
is
of
the thing,
people
though.
agree with that.
This is the thing that people forget, right? Is like realistically, like footballers have evolved. So like basically from Messi, Ronaldo era is a different era than previous football. Like you can't compare the two, in my opinion, because the athleticism, the seriousness of which athletes took it, it's not comparable. Someone was asking about when we're going to put on Spotify the podcast and all. We're sorting that out.
Yeah, we are.
We're
We're working
talking
on it.
about it. Sorry, guys, but unfortunately,
It'll be up soon.
just got to make sure I'm going to get actual cash back for it. Cash back.
Cold hard.
City are losing. Manchester City.
I like that.
Wow.
Let's have a look. It doesn't really
By the
matter
way,
in their
the
group.
reason this is interesting is they've not looked good for a while now. Even like Rodri came back, but they haven't been great even since he came back in terms of performances, in my opinion. They've conceded 4 against Chelsea, albeit a draw. They couldn't beat Liverpool. Now they're losing. It's a really interesting season from them.
They've got a good team out as well. You know, they've
I'm
got
right.
Haaland
How could
playing,
they not?
Silva, Grealish, Rodri, Diaz. They've got Ortega in goal tonight, which is an interesting one. But do you know what? He's a very good second choice goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Probably one of the better number 2 goalkeepers out there. But yeah, they're 1 goal down, which is interesting. I have to say though, they've basically qualified already. They've got 12 points after 5 games,
exactly.
even if they do lose tonight.
I just think it's interesting to see if that slide, and by slide I mean, look, you're not looking bad, but I was thinking about what you said on the kickoff the other day about Enzo.
Yeah.
And I think, Joey mentioned it. It's like Chelsea fans aren't like wanting rid of the guy. They're not saying he's bad, but do you feel like there's a little bit of people going, this isn't really what we thought you'd be. We thought you'd be a bit better than this.
Yeah, I think there is a section of the Chelsea fan base that are sick of Enzo already.
Sick.
I say that.
That's strong.
Yeah, they are sick of him.
Yeah.
And I think it's mainly the sort of the Twitter crowd rather than the match-going fans or the fans that are there week in, week out.
What's the median like?
The median is that Enzo is going to be going to be and is already a very, very good world level player. He's starting for Argentina. He's assisting Messi. In very, very big games. So we know that he's got the quality. Wow. I think the key thing with Enzo is that he's absolutely knackered. He played pretty much every game he could when he came in last year. Mm-hmm. He's played pretty much every minute. You
can see it, can't you, when they just look a bit spent.
Well, this is the thing, and he's also been going backwards and forwards to Argentina, which, I mean, people keep saying this, but you must be knackered. Your boys are knackered. I think a lot of other players are knackered, but I feel that he's...
lovely football from Newcastle. It's opening up.
You want him on his right-hand side. That's an unbelievable pass to Trippier.
Too
far. That's such a shame.
Livramento going forward is actually showing a lot of capability here in playing 1-2s and not like most fullbacks, they bomb it down the wing. He comes inside because he's both-footed.
Well, he's right. He's predominantly right-footed as well. So he wants to be coming off the left and cutting inside.
Yeah, I like it.
So look, I think it's fashionable to criticise Enzo, but there's a few things that I'll say. Right, Enzo was never going to be a 15, 20 assist guy. He was never going to be that kind of guy because he's a defensive midfielder. So I actually don't mind that he isn't contributing to goals and assists because I actually want him a bit of a destroyer and a bit of a player that passes the balls from deep. I'm very happy for our number 10 and our wingers.
So he's like a 6 then?
I want him to be a deeper player. And I actually almost want him to be deeper than maybe even a Caicedo. Like I want Caicedo to be the box-to-box player with Enzo as a sort of one that's the...
Yeah, he should be playing
the Xavi Alonso
the Bruno Guimaraes role. Yeah, exactly. A footballing... but tough tackling guy.
Him and Xavi Alonso are actually quite similar players.
Yeah.
Like, as in, I'm not saying he's that level yet, but, they're long passers. They like to switch the play. They're very good technically. They're strong. They can tackle. So I class him like that. So look, I think a lot of sort of fans from the outside, they go, oh, we think Enzo should be contributing. We think he should be right up there getting goals and whatever. But that's not his game. So I don't think most sane Chelsea fans are going there and expecting that from him. So actually... what he's doing is very good. And there was a very good compilation after the game the other day, which a lot of people said that it was one of his worst games for Chelsea. There was a compilation of all his touches. He barely did anything wrong. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he actually
do you know who's like that with me? Bruno.
Yeah.
Like whenever I watch Bruno Guimaraes, so sometimes I'm like, oh, did he get a good... And then I watch it back properly and I realise, God, he didn't really put much fucking foot wrong. It's just didn't quite happen for him.
Yeah.
But he wasn't bad.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference between being bad and not being as good as you can be.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something funny I heard earlier on today. Lascelles... a lot of people said that he looked like he was injured in the first half. I don't know if you noticed that of the game.
Really?
A lot of people said he looked injured, and it came out after the game that he changed his boots midway through the match, and the boot man gave him one size 9 and one size 11, and so he was playing with the wrong size boots, and he said it affected his performance.
Of course it did.
Until half time. Can you imagine?
I don't know how he got the fucker off. He's massive. He's 6'4" and built like a shed.
I heard that, and I was like, that guy's getting sacked.
Yeah.
Surely that kit man's in trouble.
Yeah. Have you seen some of the kickoffs that's been going on in the PSG? Newcastle fans barricaded themselves in a bar.
What's been going on with that? That's mental. They've literally been going at them in pubs and fucking shit, haven't they?
What I've realised from Paris is when they came to Newcastle, they were a fucking nightmare as well. Like, they're a violent lot, you know what I mean? Like, it's one thing being passionate, shouting, maybe smash a few chairs up outside a bar, but like... this lot are actually card carrying, nice tackle from Almiron.
Let's talk about French football for a second, right? There was a game recently, Marseille Saint Etienne, I think it was.
Have you seen this, right?
Almiron
giving Kylian Mbappe the runaround. I can never speak on his name again. Son, what are you doing, lad? Mate, Almiron, he took pleasure.
I saw it. I know he did.
He was like, you Mbappe, yeah? Yeah.
Mbappe,
let me show you Almiron.
Defender, famous presser of the ball.
Almiron, you know what it is, right? I rate Mbappe, like what he did in that World Cup final was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's a great player, and look, he can score a hat-trick against us today. Touch wood, he doesn't fuck me. But he's never going to be like a Messi, Ronaldo level. Like he's never that. He's good.
Yeah.
He's great even, but he's not them.
For me, I wouldn't want him to play for Chelsea.
I wouldn't want him.
I wouldn't want him.
You see,
and I mean that
the
sincerely.
ego on this guy is more than it's worth.
And that's the key
Yeah.
thing, is the mentality side. I just couldn't be asked for the
I
drama.
don't want arseholes, and I think he's don't get me wrong, great footballer,
Unbelievable
arsehole.
footballer. Yeah, yeah.
You can tell his ego he's mental.
Yeah, unbelievable
Yeah.
footballer. And
And for someone who hasn't actually like
what's he won?
I mean, he's won. Well,
won leagues.
He won the World Cup, didn't he, or the Euros, whichever one it was.
Yeah.
But and he's obviously won the league on, but like his ego would insinuate like he's done what Ronaldo was doing in his prime or Messi in his prime, and he's not. He's not even Neymar in his prime right now. He hasn't done that yet.
This is the
You know
thing.
what I mean?
That we'll get pelters for this, right? But I think there are 3 or 4 players that I'd rather have at Chelsea up front than Mbappe.
Yeah.
I really would.
I'm not sure what they're saying. Foolishness. Can you quote me when you're slagging me off?
Why is Mbappe, like, in your guy's head, is it just because he's technically unbelievable and he is a quality player?
No.
Because
you're saying slander. I've said he's a great footballer, but he's not Messi and Ronaldo level. There's nothing about that is in any way slander. It's like saying a boxer isn't Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali, but he's great.
Well, listen,
that's not mental, bro. Calm down.
Is he Haaland level?
I think he's up there. Yeah, I think he's probably Haaland level. Yeah.
Does he score? Does he score 35 goals in the Premier League if he comes to the Premier League? I don't think he does.
Depends on who he plays for. I think that's a part of it. He could be Ronaldo level. Someone said. I disagree. I absolutely disagree. I think Ronaldo and Mbappe were never in the same stratosphere.
So for people saying that what top players don't have an ego, right? Does Messi sort of ransom every single club that he's at and say, I want to be the director of football. I have to play in this position. I want to be in control. I'm going to go to Real Madrid every 2 seconds. Like, I don't remember Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi doing that level of shithousery.
Yeah. Someone saying Mbappe is currently the best player in the world. He might be, right? That's okay. I'm just saying he's not. He's not going
to win the Ballon d'Or, is he?
He's not Ronaldo and Messi level.
Well, he didn't win the Ballon d'Or, so he's not the best player in the world.
But even if he is, like, my point still stands. And I think if I don't know if you all have seen this guy, because obviously, you know, I'm a bit older than some of you. Ronaldo R9,
yeah,
better than Mbappe.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think that's even so. It's not even just Ronaldo and Messi. I'm like they're the greatest of all time.
I would argue that moments like Van Persie or Van Nistelrooy, I reckon they've had moments in their career where they're better than.
Yeah, that's where it gets a bit more grey.
Yeah,
I think
come on.
But that's that's the rough. Like, is he one of the best players in the world right now? Yes, but I'm just saying, when you have an ego like the size of Texas, it's got to be warranted. And I just don't think, like, given that, you know, a Mo Salah, for example, is able to do his job without that same ego, you need to humble yourself a bit and realise, all right, there's other players out there who are on your level, bro. Cross in for Newcastle, drops to Anthony Gordon on the edge of the box, touch out wide.
Some people saying that, yeah, so IPIR has said that he's got 300 career goals by
Livramento, dribbling in. Wow, he can really dribble, mate.
He's a very good
it's
dribbler.
Unbelievable.
And we're on shots. Was he onside? Was he onside? Unbelievable. Where has that come from? Like in Paris, Newcastle have just scored first.
Humbled.
They've shut everyone up. Out of nowhere from the unbelievable dribbling of Tino Livramento, a player that shouldn't even be on the pitch, arguably, because he isn't the starting left back for you. He comes in, he does a dribble. Almiron, again, underrated player.
We followed the shot up at Isak. And by the way, Paris is the city of love, and I fucking love Newcastle. Get in. Yeah? Get in, my son.
Oh, dear. Donnarumma as well, apparently meant to be one of the best goalkeepers in the world, spills a fairly average shot from Alba.
Hey, I tell you what, I didn't see this coming. Like, I thought they'd really go for it, yeah. But you know what we did? We'll weather the storm.
Yeah.
We'll weather the storm, and key moments like Nick Pope's save, like some of the crunching tackles that have gone in, the great defending from Kieran Trippier and the like. Well done, the lads.
Sorry, 1 second. Let me just do this. Bang.
Yes. The score counter has been updated.
But so which way is it?
Get him.
Wait. Fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Don't even know my right from my left. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Shout out to Marvin from the kickoff. He said, "This is why I love Newcastle. Fearless and hard workers." And we are. We really fucking are. Like that's where we go for it. You know what I mean?
Oh, you gotta love moments like this. Like this is again what I love about football is everyone wrote you off again, and it's happened.
You all
throughout
laughed
this
at
season.
me, didn't you? You
all
all laughed at me.
We're doing the Farage banter now.
Well,
Straight
who's laughing now? Well, right, we're still got 80 minutes left to play or whatever. Oh, they're flashing it across goal right now.
I like how you've connected Farage and Europe. Well done. Very smart.
Yeah.
Very smart.
See what I did? Didn't even realise that.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Shout out to the chat.
What do we even say? I'm in shock. I'm in absolute shock.
I've
that
got
you've
to give
that goal.
so much credit to Livramento for the dribbling skills. And we were talking earlier on about him being backseat to Reece James at Chelsea and therefore ending up at Southampton and then Newcastle. And I said, like, going forward, and even especially defensively, like, he is a really high-level fullback, and I've been blown away by how good he is. So credit to the Newcastle, scouting system in collecting him, because what a player. Like, I'll look at him, and my first thought was, you look like a fucking Pep Guardiola fullback, You're that good. You can do it all.
Right, question then. Dan Burn, let's say he's back. Well, I don't know when exactly he's back, but say a couple of months, Dan Burn comes back.
I've got the answer.
Does he get back in the
No
team?
fucking chance.
And he was brilliant. I love
Dan. And we are so lucky to have a player like Dan Burn within the squad who not only gets the club, but is actually a good defender who can play centre-back and play left-back. He is the perfect squad player because he's invested and he wants what's best for the team. And he also knows at his age, right? Like, the longer I can stay a part of this squad, the better. And he's a local bloke. So, but no, Livramento has the potential to be a top, in the words of Harry Redknapp, top player. And Dan Burn is just a good Premier League player, but Livramento's potential is absolutely outrageous, and I've seen that from day one with him. And the assist for against Manchester United for Almiron, and now this. I mean, that's PSG and Manchester United you're doing that to.
Yeah.
Not just fucking Fulham and any old club in the Premier League. I'm sorry, Fulham, but you know what I mean.
The only thing we were questioning about Livramento was how well he was going to recover from that injury, because he had a very, very serious injury, and there are players of his age that never recover. You look at Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi never recovered from that injury.
Yeah.
He was a £70 million Bayern level player that they wanted him. They were ready to break the bank, and you're thinking, is Livramento ever going to be able to recover?
I'm shocked.
And do you know what the answer is? Yes.
I'm shocked at the level that this kid's on, and there he is there intercepting in the back four when the ball's been lost by Fabian Shaw. That is good reading of the game.
I have to say one thing, right? All of the Chelsea fans that saw him from the academy, they knew that he was going to be top class. They knew that he was level.
Look at that! Oh my days, he's absolutely world class.
And so from a scouting perspective, it doesn't take a genius to understand that he's going to be a very, very good level player. Oh,
you know what? Sometimes PSG, right? They're so good, but they get a bit too clever with it.
Yeah.
Like, you're not prime Barcelona, lads. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're a PSG fan, you're frustrated that they're overcomplicating it. We've just seen Almiron take a whack, but there's this little weird back heel that was.
I don't know why he did that.
Like, yeah,
he could have just controlled it there.
Overcooking it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's have a little look at this.
Is that Miley? Has he done his ankle?
No, he's fine. He's fine.
Good.
Thank God.
What's Eddie Howe to Isak?
Yeah, Eddie Howe's giving a bit of a chat to Isak there. Must have seen some runs in behind that he can make something. But Livramento is having an outrageously good game.
Man of the match. So far.
He just dispossessed Dembele with ease, and who is quite a feared winger, right? So, bearing in mind, this is a young lad who we're just now seeing for Newcastle bursting onto the scene to quote Big Meeks, and he looks better than Big Meeks, but way better. This is a real talent we found here at Newcastle. And when I look at him, I'm like, and this is where I start connecting the dots in the future and thinking about Newcastle. Could we challenge for a title? And you look at a Livramento and how good he is at his age, and you think, you look like you'll win a title in your lifetime, you.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
definitely.
And then there's a few other players on my team, and we think to ourselves, okay, City are, really good, but are they as good as they used to be? No, we've got a few years of building, and
God.
and maybe with some additions that are world class, that could take us to the next level with players like him behind.
Barcelona, just for everyone's knowledge, are 1-0 down against Porto, which is a lovely result. We don't love Barcelona to be right up there, do we?
Someone said, honest thoughts on how Luton are doing.
That's a good question.
Yeah. I'm actually quite enjoying some of their football at times. I think they're finally getting the hang of the Premier League and that what the fuck they're up against. And honestly, they are definitely coping better than fucking Burnley. That's for damn sure. So, Newcastle in trouble.
Dembele,
Good save.
unbelievable save again from Pope.
Nick Pope saves it. It wasn't the best clean strike,
No.
but the keeper had to be
save
there.
it. Yeah, he needed to save it. I think with Luton, everyone expected them to be rock bottom and considerably rock bottom. But I have to say, I watched them in the playoff final, and I've got a lot of friends that are Luton fans. And I tell you what, they have got some players there, similar to the likes of the Geordies that you have, that are desperate to stay in that league. And you know what? They might not have the technical quality of teams that are around them, but they've got players that want to be there. Like Morris, they've got up front. He's a very, very good striker, underrated striker.
1-1 Barcelona.
Yeah. And they've got Ross Barkley, who I rate, really highly, actually. I actually think Ross Barkley was a very good player for Chelsea and is a very good player generally.
Just because he didn't ever hit his full level that we thought he could.
Yeah.
People sort of wrote him off, but he's still a decent player.
Yeah. Their goalkeeper as well has been absolutely brilliant. Kaminsky, I think his name is. He's been absolutely brilliant for Luton. So you've got to respect them. And you know what, mate? I hope they stay up. I really do. Because it would be game-changing for them as a football club.
If they do, though.
Yeah. Second season syndrome is going to be very difficult.
Everton would have to get relegated for me.
Bournemouth could be down there, couldn't they?
Yeah, all right. Mainly, Bournemouth aren't great either. Yeah. I think I was interested to see how poor Everton's finishing was, because I still think Everton are in trouble. Although they secured points earlier this season that have since been robbed off them, obviously, I think that they were in a bit of form. And now, mentally, you're like, all right, you've just lost 3-0 to Man United at home. Can you bounce back from that? And if they hit a rocky patch, fuck me. If you're a Luton fan, you're like, we've struck gold here, because now we're onto it. We're on form. They're struggling mentally. They've been hit with something that's out of their control. Be massive, that.
Yeah, it would be. City are 2-0 down.
Wow. Do you know what though, mate? You think about that. What's that? How many games is that they'll have not won in a row? It's a few. 3 games in a row without a win. That's unheard of.
That is, especially for City,
yeah.
Especially for City. Leipzig, again, a good team. Very good team. Have you heard this thing? Can we talk about a Leipzig player for a second?
Yeah.
Timo Werner.
Linked with Man United.
Mad. What do you think about that?
I think it's very Ten Hag.
What's really funny is that Leipzig obviously don't fancy him. They're happy to see him go. And Man United see an opportunity. I'm going to say something now. I reckon he's going to be immense for them. I reckon he'll be really good.
All right. Here's the question. Why? Because
why do I think he'll be good?
No. Why get him? Right? Because
come on.
Right. Because you've got Anthony, who's the guy who has to succeed.
Shite.
Right. We already know that Eric Ten Hag has blown almost 90 million on a player who's an absolute fucking pile of shit. Right.
Yeah.
So then you stick Garnacho on the left, which you should have done from day one, because every time I seen Garnacho on the left, he actually showed quality, but Rashford was obviously in his way. So they pushed Garnacho out on the right, but when he played on the left, it worked well. So they've now gone Rashford on the right. Oh, shit. So there's 3 wingers you've got already. Why do you need Timo Werner?
I think that Timo Werner is better than any winger they've got at Man United.
Wow. Really?
Who's better than him?
Well, I mean, Rashford, in terms of overall talent, you would think he would. His output, in his career, is better.
Yeah, but his output recently hasn't been anything near that.
Yeah. I think Timo's a left winger though. So you've got Garnacho who wants to play left wing, Rashford who wants
He's
to play.
better than Garnacho. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know Garnacho's just scored a wonder goal, but that doesn't mean he's ready.
No,
for the
I
Premier League.
just mean that it would be so demoralising for Garnacho when he's just scored a one.
He's a young kid though. He'll get back in. He'll get back in.
Well, but so that means you're going Rashford, Garnacho. Sorry, mate. I mean, like your preferred position is being taken over by a guy who's on loan.
Yeah. I think
it shows a lack of a long-term plan if you do that.
It does, but then also Timo
Oh,
isn't the
yellow
youngest.
card, ref. That's a fucking counter-attack.
That is a yellow.
Almiron takes the yellow card off of PSG's... can't see his name there on the back.
Ugarte.
Yeah. But that was well worked from Almiron.
Yeah. I think Timo is one of those players that comes in at United and is a very decent player. He gets assists.
Someone said Timo Werner's a striker.
He'll be born offside. He isn't a striker.
Are you taking the piss,
disagree
mate?
with that. Yeah, I disagree.
I like you all. I'm glad you're here, but stop taking the piss out of me. with this.
He's a second striker or a winger. He isn't a number one.
Which Manchester United play 4-3-3, right? So he's going to play a left wing, which was always his main position for Chelsea, wasn't
Werner over Garnacho is an awful take. Right. What has Garnacho done in his career that's better than Timo Werner?
it? Right now, one thing.
He scored a wonder goal. Timo Werner scored some fantastic goals in his career. He's offsides for the majority of them. But other than that, he's all right. He's absolutely
The one
all
thing
right.
Timo Werner gives you is a level of pace and an ability to cause panic,
Yeah.
Oh, Anthony Gordon nearly nicked possession back at the halfway line there and we would have been in.
Is he the German Gordon?
I think that was the sort of idea. He's probably a little quicker than Anthony Gordon, but not as productive.
I think he's slowing down now in his old age.
Yeah, he's getting on.
In his old age. Right, so there has been a goal in the Milan game. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull up the group.
I personally rate Garnacho, just for everyone sort of chiming in. I'm just saying, I actually do rate him. I've rated him on the kickoff. For those watching, I would know I've been saying I do think he's a quality player, but unfortunately, he's not going to get the level of development at Man United that he should be getting because he's not going to get the opportunities. So you may be actually better off loaning him out if he's not, because he needs game time.
I disagree that he's going to. I don't think he'll ever be an out-and-out starter for Man United. And I think most Man United fans, if they honestly think that kid is going to be playing week in, week out for Manchester United, when you think about the quality of wingers that they've had,
You might be right.
at their club. Like Man United should have some of the best wingers in the world. They're paying them enough.
Yeah, I mean, they are the highest spenders,
So,
aren't they?
look at Sancho. Think about the other players in the world that are better than Sancho that are not on his money.
Mate, Livramento for a fullback, it's so quick-footed.
Yeah,
Like, he makes the odd mistake here and there, but he does recover really well.
he does.
Oh, no, Gordon, keep the ball,
So,
bro.
as it stands, Dortmund on 8 points, Newcastle in second on 7, PSG third on 6, and Milan fourth on
Newcastle
6.
are pressing. What is this man talking about? We're going to need some context, bro. If you're going to say we're talking shit, that's absolutely fine.
I love it.
Can you
Let me
explain
know
what is
why.
the shit bit, though? Because we talk so much, we don't know what the fuck is shit and what's good. Help us out.
Caprice thinks we're right.
Yeah.
So that's all that matters.
Well, I used to like a model called Chris. Remember her?
I do remember.
When we were like 14 years old. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Garnacho, apart from the
Unbelievable,
wonder
Jeff.
goal, hasn't shown much at all, according to Dom Dewsbury.
Would he get in the
he
Newcastle
can't take
team?
anyone. His finishing and crossing haven't been great, but I'm sure he'll get better in the future.
Would he get in the Newcastle team?
No, Garnacho
wouldn't.
wouldn't. No.
He honestly
but
wouldn't.
But he's a great option from the bench. But to bring a Timo Werner in, it is slightly stifling the growth of the lad. Going right, well, you're gonna have to sit out now because Timo's here.
Well, this is. I'll sum it up with this, right?
It's very
If-
Amrabat style signing. isn't it?
If Man United in the summer had the opportunity to sign other wingers, and any Man United fan now, tell me, would you sign another winger? Because that's the answer to your question. If you think that Garnacho is going to be world class, you wouldn't sign another winger. You wouldn't. So Man United fans in the chat, let me know, would you sign another winger? Because that's the answer to your own question. It literally is that simple.
Yeah. The whole take on Garnacho is awful. Mate, explain yourself, bro. Explain what Garnacho is good at and what it is that you want him to. Because we're happy to have this. I like hearing what you guys got to say.
I
but
love
saying
it, mate.
this is like, come on, help us out. Newcastle got to be doing a bit dependent. Offside, nice one. We're playing really well. I mean, this has been, touch wood, it's been pretty close to perfect. I mean, look, PSG have been good. They've had moments of brilliance. But again, we seem to be understanding how to beat them and get the better of them here.
I like this shout. A lot of them are saying you'd sign a right winger over a left winger.
You would.
But then, like,
but that would be, then Ten Hag would then have to accept that his signing was bullshit.
Well, we know that already.
Yeah, but does he, though? Is he ready to accept that? I think he knows it. He probably knows it, but is he ready to be humbled?
There's no way, can we just say as well, there's a few people saying the name in the chat, there's no way that Greenwood is ever going to play for Man United again. He's never going to play for Man United.
Look, that's an interesting one because obviously the guy's hitting a couple of bangers out in La Liga. As much as I want Josh to be right, I am not sure. Oh, Newcastle get the ball in the final third.
What's interesting?
There's a chance here to sort of try and open up PSG.
Gordon through.
It's not bad.
What I would say is that there is going to be a new board, and so the new board can make their own decision, can't they? And actually, Sir Jim is going to be in charge of the football operations. He will make his own call, and that's why it's unpredictable. We don't know what's going to happen because that could be very, very different to what we're expecting.
Look, if we're being honest, I think they loaned him out to let the heat die down in a very cynical way.
We knew that.
And since then, he's been scoring some good goals. I think the thing that they want is to have the option to sell him or to keep him. And now that they've developed that, now that he's scored those goals in La Liga, other sides in La Liga will be interested at the very least.
Can I ask the United fans in the chat? Would you want Greenwood back?
Can I have a drink, please?
Barkeep.
Yeah, I mean, based on talent, I think we know Greenwood is definitely up there for Manchester United.
Here you go. No. Yes, no, don't want him back. So more people are saying no.
I must admit, it's a mental one because so many Man United fans do want him back. And if it was a Newcastle situation, I wouldn't want him back personally. But I don't,
It's getting a bit more even.
Yeah.
It's getting a bit more even now. I think the club will be under so much pressure to not let him back.
I think so when they've signed Højlund, so in theory, PSG in behind, chance to clear. Bruno gets it, takes a bit of a time. Oh, and we're getting tackled. We're losing at our own half. Get up, lads! Come on. Livermento's got a job to do on Dembele here. He's going to try and whip the ball in. He does so. Headed out, drops to PSG on the left side. They're going to try and whip this in, I think.
Bang.
Nope. That'll do. Shot goes wide. 43 minutes played. Newcastle looking strong. Going back to the chat, Greenwood doesn't take no for an answer. Oh, yeah. Is Rashford overrated? I think he's just so hot and cold. It's really hard to answer that. The sponsors would hate that. Yeah, I think Man United bought Højlund so that the Greenwood situation shouldn't really be an issue. If there does need, and look, more quality play. I don't think Ten Hag gives a fuck personally from the way he handled the whole situation. Shot saved, volley from outside the box. We needed that. I don't think Ten Hag cares, and if it was up to him, he'd be having Greenwood back. But Højlund should. We're seeing glimpses of how good he is. He should be so good that I
love this.
That won't be an issue.
I love this. Let's get into this, right? Because people are comparing Enzo and Garnacho. It's a joke. Enzo is playing every game for Argentina. When did Garnacho ever do that? Are you joking? Are you
whoever
joking?
thought of that? You've done it.
You've done exactly what you need to do.
I just seen the eye of the tiger in Josh's eyes. I was like, oh shit.
Mindcracker. Let's read this one out because this is a super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Yeah, we got to.
Yeah, Garnacho is 19. Needs time to graduate from a sub to a starting winger. Solid dribbler. He needs to improve his delivery and finishing. Focus on academy products is good. He is better than most Chelsea youngsters. I don't think that you're thinking clearly when you think that Garnacho is it. Because look, I say it again. Man United, when Sir Jim comes in, one of the key areas that they're going to strengthen is in the wing play. And then when Garnacho sat on the bench and he can't play because you've signed a world-class winger, you're going to forget about him. I'm sorry. I really do think that.
I've got to say, Mindcracker did make a good point in that he's pretty much a substitute and that he needs to graduate from that. Neville also said, what about these new sin bin ideas on the super chats?
Yes.
Good or bad? Personally, I don't want to do that. I find VAR is already fucking around with the game enough. I just want to, if anything, I want less involvement from referees, not more.
Yeah. I totally agree with that.
Corner ball for Newcastle, by the way.
Giving referees more power in an era where they've made more mistakes than ever before is a dangerous precedent.
Yeah, I think things are getting worse, not better. And for me, a referee should only be involved in this game when absolutely necessary.
Yeah. Agreed.
And right now, especially with VAR, it's becoming far more than necessary.
What I think is happening at the moment is that there's
what a ball from Kieran. Isak's gone through almost. Oh my God. So close. Isak's appealing for a handball. Last man back. Would that be
there's going to be a little scuffle here. Isak just went toe to toe straight with him. They went almost head to head there. There's going to be something. It will go back to that. We're not watching it on the camera.
Mbappe's in the box with the ball. Last thing I want to see. Cross in.
Keep your arms by your sides, lads.
Yes,
Smiley, we're looking at you there.
He's a right fucker, isn't he?
He's a big boy. I think what we're seeing at the moment, more generally, is that referees are trying to change the laws of the game at an exponential rate. Like, do you remember when we were watching it in the 90s and the early 2000s? Nothing would change.
But you also have to give time to take the changes to take effect to realize what's going wrong before adding more rules. Like, you need to know, all right, is this too much? Do we need to take some off before we change it again? Like, you're not actually giving it time to get a sample size. Yeah. And for me, the overwhelming football fans are saying, this is too much. Like, you guys are getting involved when it's not clear and obvious, and therefore you're overdoing it. You're overcooking it. Like, stay the fuck out of football and just let us fans celebrate goals when they happen without worrying every time about VAR. And good defender from Newcastle, thank God. Boot the fucking ball Sunday. Come on. Have we not gone back to that handball? We haven't even seen if it was a handball.
It hasn't gone off. It hasn't gone off yet. I think I just don't want there to be there's been 3 changes in the last 2 years about handball.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's ridiculous.
So it's just like there are players out there that don't know the difference of the handball rule anymore.
Yeah.
And they're playing the game week in, week out. So I just think the guys need to calm down. The things that we can improve and get right straight away are the automated offsides. Just get those in. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't think there needs to be too much.
I just want less VAR.
And less VAR.
Just less. And if it's a really clear issue, Dembele is shite, isn't he, at times? Like, don't get me wrong, he's got talent, but he's football brain at times. You're thinking, like, PSG are on the edge of our box, right? As a PSG fan, you're thinking, work the ball towards the goal. And he just has this wank shot miles over the bar, right? We're going to see if this was a handball or not.
Oh, it completely is a handball, but it's outside the area, so they won't look at it.
Would that not be a...
They wouldn't look at it.
No?
And now it's half-time. Well done, lads.
1-0.
That's a great result for half-time. Really good
result.
We'll
definitely take that. I mean, I'm very surprised that we've done what we've been able to do there. Well done to the lads. This lot are a proper fucking football team.
Yeah.
Shout out to Simon, who's dropped a super chat. As a Chelsea fan, I will always love Timo, but trying to watch him control a football week in, week out was painful. Very average technical ability for the Premier League. I mean... to me, it's a strange one for Ten Hag. Like, when you've invested so much in a player like Anthony, when you've absolutely ostracized Sancho, another winger, like you've had multiple wingers at your disposal, and Marcus Rashford, and now the young lad Garnacho, to then bring another one into the equation when you've had plenty. I don't know. It smacks of a man who's totally unsure of what he's got.
The thing with Timo is that yes, he missed a lot of chances, and yes, he was offside a lot. But I tell you what, in crunch games, he did get goal contributions, and he got a lot of assists and a decent amount of goals. I actually think, I'll put it this way: I would have rather us have kept Timo and sold Havertz earlier. I'm deadly serious. I'm deadly serious.
Bro, we know you don't like Havertz.
I'm deadly serious.
We already know.
But I think honestly do feel that Timo could come back to the Premier League and be fine.
Yeah.
Be fine.
Shout out to the guys, Josh, who's asking about AJ Wilder. We've actually got, we filmed the debate show earlier today about AJ Wilder, Fury Usyk, all of that. Paying Game YouTube channel, all of that's coming out. And one of my favourite debates I think I've ever done. So, yeah, really looking forward to posting them. Stay tuned for that, bro. Mbappe is obsessed with playing on the left, but in my opinion, he's much more threatening as a centre-forward striker. Kind of agree. I think the thing with Mbappe is if you give him space, that's where he's effective. And with Newcastle, we're not doing that. And I think that's why in both games right now, look, this guy could score a hat-trick in the second half, but what that would mean is in a full 2 halves of football, now another half of football, he's done effectively 0 against Newcastle. So aside from a very good chance early on that was saved, he's not playing his best football because we're not giving him the space. And that is a credit to the defence, especially Kieran Trippier, who's right on him. Ten Hag doesn't have what it takes, says David. Another super chat here from Saad, who says, yeah, you're on point about Mbappe, but he's way better than Haaland. Big love to you guys, says Khalil. Want to ask CR7 or Messi? Do you have a preference, Josh?
I always used to say CR7 because I liked his athleticism and I enjoyed watching him play more. But as I've got older, I've grown to love Messi more, and I think he'll have a better legacy in the game. So I would say Messi more now. I was always a bit jealous of Messi as well, and I hated Barcelona because of what they did to us in the Champions League.
If you watched them both in their absolute prime, like when they were red hot, I kind of at the time felt like Ronaldo was the one I was more drawn to, because it was like some of the stuff he would do would be outrageous. Because I was watching it in the Premier League, I think I respected it more. But overall, over a whole career, it's got to be Messi for me. Like,
yeah, I agree now. I've changed my mind.
Just as it, because when they start losing their athleticism, you see what their real true ability is, and I think Messi is definitely a level above Ronaldo. But in their prime, Ronaldo was still some fucking player. I remember watching him at St. James's Park rip us to shreds. Yeah. And there was a level of admiration. Like, you were just like, fuck me, we're getting humped. But, I mean, what are the lads supposed to do? Like, it's fucking Ronaldo. Do you know what I mean? Like, what we're going to do? Timo was about as useful as Mudryk, says Josh. That isn't you.
He's coming for me, yeah.
He's definitely doing a bit.
I like it. I still go Mudryk.
Is Disasi and Badiashile Chelsea's best centre-back pairing?
Great question. Disasi should be immediately back in the team. Fuck knows why he was dropped. Badiashile will be a player of the future.
Why was he dropped?
I don't even know.
Just to be clear, Josh did a little social clip where he said, don't think you can blame Pochettino for the selection.
No, I don't think overall the team's like bad. I actually don't.
But he was like, fuck knows why he was dropped. And I was like, it's not what you were saying.
No, but I find
I pay attention.
He watches
I don't let anything go.
He watches everything. The interesting one is that Disasi hasn't really put a foot wrong. And he was dropped. But then also, like, what you're not going to play Thiago Silva. There must have been a reason why he didn't start though, because I think he would have played Disasi and Thiago Silva together.
We'll never know.
But
one thing I will say is the confidence Newcastle got from the Chelsea game is helping us tonight, actually, which I thought our legs would be fucked. We've only had 2.5 days before this game. I hope, like, I would imagine they barely trained. It's just been like rest, recovery. Last night, bit of a kick around, nothing too heavy. Shout out to Nick Fire who's saying, Brian, are you ready for Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington? I am up for that event. The whole event. Paddy the Baddie, Ian Gary's fighting. There's 2 title fights. And there's a lot of dislike fighters who are getting a lot of shit on there right now. So I'm excited to see how that plays out. Disasi is average, says HOS. He's a mid-table centre-back, and even Brentford and Palace are better centre-backs.
I love this. Do you know what? Some Chelsea fans agree with you.
Yeah.
Some Chelsea fans honestly agree with you.
I feel like the Chelsea fan base is one of the most divided fan bases in regards to how they view their own footballers.
I agree.
I think Newcastle, for example, we're so much more, no pun intended, united. We're very much in agreement with how we see our team. Aside from one or two who, like Almiron, who's quite divisive, like I'm hot and cold on him, obviously. But Chelsea, because you've got so many quality footballers, and it's such a, you can really fuck around with your team a lot more because there's so much depth there. And Chelsea have had so much success that these fans, they argue a lot and they have completely conflicting opinions.
There's also sort of like different. There's sort of different groups of Chelsea fans that coalesce around each other.
Yeah, I look at you and Joey, for example, and I feel like match-going Chelsea fans versus the Twitter brigade is a totally different vibe.
And look, not everyone can be. I feel incredibly lucky to be able to go to games. Not everyone has that ability, but I do think like if you're watching the highlights of Chelsea, you'll see a very different team than if you've watched them week in, week out, away, home, and all of the games. Like you'll have a different perspective on it.
Does Anthony Gordon deserve an England call-up? I think deserve is absolutely the right word. He does deserve one. I think Southgate is like biased to his favourites. Like there's no way anyone can watch Marcus Rashford this season and say he's outperforming Ian Gary. Sorry, someone's just written Ian Gary. Then I've read that. Anthony Gordon. No one could say Rashford's outperforming him. But I get Rashford's got cash in the bank, right? He's like last season, Rashford was really fucking good. Whereas Anthony Gordon's never had a season as good as this.
Anthony Gordon's got time to be in the squad. You know, he'll be there eventually. If he keeps playing the way he's going, he'll be in there. We must give a shout out to this guy who's wrote in here from Brazil.
Brazilian
Ralph.
doctor Ralph says, I'm watching the game between patients. Got to tell you, the game is way better with your commentary. Love from Brazil and long live Bruno Guimaraes. Come on, Ralph.
Thanks
look,
for watching, mate.
I might be going to Brazil next year. I don't know if I'll end up going there because Misfits are doing a card there. So if I need medical care, Ralph, I'll let you know, bro. I might do after the fucking train I'm going to run on my body when I'm drinking and I'm getting hammered.
We will be DMing you, Ralph, for medical assistance.
But also just any good spots to check out while I'm there. Never been to South America.
Me either.
But look, the Geordies, we've got loads of Brazilian flags now, and there's a big admiration there. I feel like I grew up loving Brazilian footballers, so to have two in my team, and especially like two who I wasn't really sure what we were getting when we got them, especially Joe Linton, who I basically was resigned to wasting fucking however much money we spent on him. And yet now we did a combined 11, Manchester United versus Newcastle the other day.
I can't wait for this.
We
to
put
come out.
Joe Linton and Bruno
When's
Guimaraes.
that coming out? Because I need to.
Maybe tomorrow.
That's going to be a very good.
I think it's coming out tomorrow. Yeah,
that's going to be.
I think we might put the highlights of this out before then.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Macedonia? Unfortunately not, mate.
It's beautiful, Macedonia. Beautiful.
Almiron is top 3 most important Newcastle players, and I will die on this hill. You can do that. I won't be saving you because I disagree. But I will admit, Almiron is an effective player. That's what I will say. Like, as much as he misses chances and his footballing brain is horrendous at times, he is a grafter.
I think you've got a bit of a soft spot for Almiron now. I honestly think he's changed your mind. I'm deadly serious. I think you've actually got a bit of love for Almiron.
I do. I definitely. You know what? I appreciate his work rate, man. He's a grafter. Like, you know, we were talking. Sterling's on our fucking screen right now, advertising Gillette, and what you were saying is like Sterling has quality, but does he do the dog work? Does he do the dirty work that Anthony Gordon does, that Almiron does, and not right now, right? And that's a huge part of the modern era. You can't just be this winger who you know. Sterling acts like he's Mbappe, and he's not.
He's not.
You know what I mean? Like he's hanging on the last shoulder and like fuck defending. But
I actually looked at his heat map, and it was very attacking. Like he didn't track.
You were
back
spot
at all.
on.
It's actually a joke though. Like you watch the game back and you look at his like he's meant to be this leader. He's meant to be all over the place, and he is just overrated at this point. I'm sorry,
but the thing is,
I know he scores goals, but I'd rather have a player that does everything.
I mean, I've always said that, but equally, like he had a great game against Man City. But this is the thing with him is you can see when he's up for it and when he's not so up for it.
Yeah, great.
The levels of consistency aren't there.
Yeah,
you know,
good.
and for the amount of money he's consistently being paid, they fucking should be.
Johnny's asked an unbelievable question up there. Bench, start, sell, Rashford, Gordon, Mudryk. I want to know your perspective on this. Come on, hit me. This is by the way, this is a fucking good question, mate. Well done.
I'd start Gordon because I think he'd run the legs off of the fullback. I'd bring on Rashford and I'd sell
Mudryk. You wouldn't get your money back.
No, but yeah, just to be clear, I don't not rate Mudryk, but we're still waiting to see him in a. He hasn't hit so Mudryk and Anthony Gordon were both at a similar time, and Mudryk has still looked good at times, but not come on and showing his true level. Whereas now you're seeing Gordon finding his feet. You're like, okay, we're really seeing where you're going to be in this Premier League as one of the best players, one of the most effective players in the Premier League. Are you going to be world class? I don't know, but you're going to be very fucking good. With Mudryk, I'm still waiting to see more evidence of that. And although Rashford is completely bang out of form, he's obviously shown a lot more than Mudryk has. But I don't know, if I'm Chelsea right now, the fact that Mudryk consistently is not preferred tells us that Poch is a bit like, I'm not sure. You know what I mean? And the longer that goes on, the more likely it is that he's a flop. That's just not emotional. That's just like, I know you like him. And I see why, because when he came on against Newcastle, by the way, Mudryk looked far more threatening than Raheem Sterling had looked in the entire game. So I'm like, okay, this guy is stretching us right now. He's pushing the pace. He's darting from out wide into the middle. There's talent, but you need consistent games. You need backing, and you need to deliver. And that's just not happened yet.
Yeah, look, let's get this straight. My talent ID has been wrong before. And I know that's very surprising.
No, but that's everyone. So
I know that's very surprising.
Don't hate.
The one that I always really regret in myself is I thought Nat Chalobah was going to be better than Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And I said it left, right, and centre. I used to say, Chalobah is the one we should keep. Let's get rid of Loftus-Cheek.
He's about to be sold, right?
Well, Loftus-Cheek has gone to Milan. He's playing in Serie A, been brilliant. Nat Chalobah was Trevor's older brother. He was a midfielder. He was a midfielder. Unbelievable, actually, in the youth.
Because I've seen Chelsea are lining up the Salafi with
We're going to sell Trevor.
Yeah.
Which is a wrong decision again, and he'll prove us wrong on that. But
the amount of young players this lot get and Josh has always said to me, like, big mistake.
Well, this is the thing, mate. We're gonna buy back Guehi. We got Guehi who's at Palace. We're gonna buy him back. We're gonna waste more money. This is what we end up doing. Exactly. So look, my talent idea has been wrong. But what I'll say about Mudryk is, I just see something with him that is mercurial. The pace is also unbelievable. And I just don't think I've seen that from another player at Chelsea at his age and in that position before. And so there's something about it where it's just like he's got some ingredients there that could make him world class, but he needs to be coached and he's way off it. I'm not saying he's anywhere near world class now, but my God, he could be. And that's that when you find a diamond in the rough like that, that's what gets me really excited, because there are not many players. Like, I'm not saying he's going to be Hazard level, but I remember there was a time where you looked at Hazard to go, there's stuff that Hazard could do to improve, but my God, he's good. He's got some huge potential there. So maybe we're hanging on to the Hazard hangover, but I'd love to see him. But look, to answer that question, I honestly might sell Rashford and I'd bench Mudryk and start Gordon. In the current form.
Based on what, though?
On the current form.
Because this is biased.
It is very biased.
It's absolutely.
It is very biased.
Brethren biased, to quote KG. Big love to my guy.
It is very biased. Yeah. But I just think, what is the output of Rashford going to be like going forward?
He's one of them who has like a hot season, a cold season.
It might be a stupid take.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Great question though. I enjoyed it.
I think if Anthony Gordon isn't at the next tournament with England, it will be a crying shame. Yeah. Because I know, look, there's a lot of good players right now. Phil Foden, Jack Grealish. You've even got the Chelsea lad Cole Palmer. There's so much talent with Marcus Rashford and the like. But if we're talking about who is delivering right now, Anthony Gordon's delivering as well as any of them.
If Eddie Howe is the manager of England, is Rashford in the squad? Bearing in mind,
Isak
in here. Come on, shoot.
He's got help.
He's got no one. He's got no one. Oh, what is that pass?
Sorry,
is that Miley?
Sorry, yeah, he's just
bless him. Seb, you've done a brilliant super chat here. Thank you very much. Still not feeling great after Tottenham's loss over the weekend, but I know watching the stream it's going to make me feel better about it. Thank you very much, Seb.
Oh God,
we've
had a few mishaps in the second half, lads. I'm just a bit worried here. Mbappe on the left side, crossed out, and it's gone out for a corner.
I don't know how you're going to feel after this weekend, Seb. Either I have to be honest with you, because that is a tough game, isn't it? That Tottenham have against City.
Yeah,
this weekend.
Yeah,
not looking good.
Yeah,
not looking good, bruv. But good news is that we're going to be streaming it, so get ready.
Thanks for all the super chats, guys. We really do appreciate it. It's nice.
Seb's done another one here. Read that one out for him.
Is that one?
Yes. Yeah.
Loving the stream, guys. Tottenham and their issues having and the issue they're currently having. What would you do if you were Ange?
Good question.
You know what? I tried to say this to Craig Mitchell, and I don't know if you caught this the other day, but I said, like, don't get down. Like, what you guys are doing is showing us a repeatable process. You're showing us that the football is ingrained in all of those players. And that is very similar to Eddie Howe, that when we are down to the bare bones, we still play the exact same way. That means the philosophy has been adopted by all of the players. And that tells me you've got a good coach on your hands, because Ten Hag still hasn't managed that in this fucking 18 months on, right? So, and that's not a dig at Ten Hag. I just mean, yeah, they're getting results, but the philosophy of Big Ange is ingrained in these lads already. And I think that, yeah, you've got a bare thin squad, you've had a few injuries, and if anyone can relate to that, it's Newcastle. But you guys are showing there is a real good coach there with him, and that he can build something. And you've got 50 million in the bank from the Harry Kane transfer left over from what you haven't spent yet. And I really believe that Big Ange can do a really solid, productive job with you guys, and maybe even really good, depending. Like, I'm very impressed with him, and I just think that what they don't need to do is panic now. Like, you guys need to support this lot and go, you know what, we've got terrible injuries, let's back them, let's sing our hearts out and accept we're going to get fucked a little bit here, but when the players come back and we build a squad, you guys kind of need to write the season off in terms of expectation and go, this is something that's worth for saying out for the long term, and backing this guy, because I think Big Ange is really good.
Yeah, personally. I really rate him.
Yeah.
I do think that they need to make some very targeted signings. They need a centre-back. With Bentancur's injury, you could argue that they need a backup DM now as well.
Yeah.
Maybe a youngster that could come in and be a squad player. When
I think we haven't started the timer, have we?
I have.
Okay.
I have now. I'm sorry that I didn't sign it. We were busy chatting. We're so preoccupied. But I do agree with you. I think we Spurs fans do need to get around Ange, because bloody hell, he's been brilliant. I think they've got a slightly aging squad. And I think when you've got players like Son,
money needs to be spent.
Money needs to be spent.
Big time.
And the good news is they've got money. So, you know, they'll end up being a very good squad.
Mate, I'm so proud of our team tonight. They've fucking given everything here. Come on, lads. Honestly, I'll give credit to PSG. The shithousery is unreal. Shout out to Khalil again. He said, any big guests coming? We have one of the best known MMA fighters in the world lined up. We have one of the best comedians in the world lined up, and we have one of the best conspiracy theorists in the world lined up. Just
dropping that out there. Think who it could be.
I'm not going to say
make your own conspiracies.
We've got some great people lined up, and that is, to be honest with you, just the tip of the iceberg. There's a couple of podcasts that I've just filmed, which will be coming out in the next 2 weeks. That are, one in particular is one of the craziest stories you've ever heard on my podcast.
Bangers.
Yeah, it is. I've never been more confident. I'm bullish, Josh.
You're bullish.
I'm bullish.
You're serving up the mash,
mate,
because you're going to accompany it with some bangers.
You guys are coming back for more. Let me tell you. They're coming back for more.
I have to say, it is so good to have the podcast back.
Yeah.
It is so good.
Mate,
I fucking love
you
it.
haven't. We've just done a trailer for a podcast we did with a porn star, and Kent's done this trailer, right?
Shout out to Ken. I hope he's in the chat.
It is absolutely outrageous, man. Like, it's. I showed it to the lads today because we've just filmed this fight podcast today with the boys from the fight show. And they like the eyes were like, "What the fuck is this girl saying, man?" We talked about financial domination and all sorts of shit. It's fucking insane.
I love it.
Turns out I was in a relationship like that, and I didn't even know it. So, you know what I mean?
Brilliant.
Oh shit,
Brilliant.
but no, I swear down, I've got so much fucking good content coming. I feel like I'm sitting on a gold mine.
Strap in, boys and girls. Strap in. Will we see the Irish guy back on the kickoff? 100%. We've got a couple of Irish guys coming back on the kickoff very soon, so strap yourself in for that.
Big times. Dude, you guys are hitting close to the mark. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah. I'm the guess.
I'm not going to say who's right and who's wrong, but let's just say it's a good time. Yeah. PSG are in the final third right now, but they're not breaking us down just yet. This guy keeps asking what our favorite color is. Fuck me. What is it?
I think we need to say it, don't we?
What is yours?
I would say Chelsea blue. I can't lie from that. The official term is Klein blue.
Yeah.
And that comes from my art background.
Is black a color?
Yeah.
It's sort of the
some people would say a shade, but I think
I like. I predominantly I wear black clothes, so maybe that's it. People are asking about Ian Gary. I don't know if you've heard about this situation, but
I don't know who that is.
He's a UFC fighter who's.
Oh, is this what you were talking about the other day?
Nah. So, let's just say it's a controversial situation.
Okay, well maybe let's avoid Ian Gary.
It's just a weird situation right now. But the MMA media, man, they're fucking relentless, bro. It's wild out there.
Has Ariel said anything about it?
I haven't seen, to be honest, but
he's my go-to UFC journalist.
I've refrained from getting involved because it's not fight related. Do you know what I mean? But
let's
just let sleeping dogs lie.
Yeah.
But it's I'm interested to see how the fight goes down this weekend because when you've got a situation where people are invasive and calling you out and all of that, I always find it interesting to see how a fighter responds. Obviously, we've seen how Logan Paul responded. He won his fight. And it's a lot when the pressure comes on like that. Shout out to Old Grandad Remixes, who said...
What a channel.
Just got to check that with Newcastle on. Dembele is here on the wing. They're working it. They're trying to find a way in. And Bruno Guimaraes. Oh, and he's fouled. And that's a yellow card. And that's what I'm talking about, son. Bruno Guimaraes playing. Do you know what Bruno Guimaraes is like? He plays like
young Roy Keane. I knew you were going to say it.
No, I swear. How do you know?
I just knew you were going to say it.
I swear down, he does.
I know. I just knew it.
And do you know what's weird? I've only just sort of twigged how much like Roy Keane he is.
Is it because he's fouls left, right, centre?
No. Bruno, what I mean is like as a footballer, he's got a bit more flair than Roy, and he's not got the tenacity in terms of like he's not as violent and crazy as Roy, but he is tenacious and he's a good footballer, and this is a difference maker for Newcastle. What a player. Shout out to Old Grandad. He said, Irish lad, used to live in the Toon, once took 2 strippers to boom songs, lived in Brazil for 7 years. Shout out. Mate, I just love the fact that you just wanted to tell us that.
Yeah, thank you.
Mate, 2 strippers, that's a great time.
Yeah. Is Boom Songs a good place? Is that a nice?
I think he might mean Alan Boom Songs, who used to play for Newcastle. I don't know if you mean that.
Love it. I think that seems like it's a venue. Can I tell you a funny story about Roy Keane?
Go for it.
I once was lucky enough to go up to Old Trafford and watch Chelsea versus Man United. It was a fantastic game.
What era was this?
This was early 2000s. I was a very young whippersnapper. I was about 10 or so, maybe even younger than that. And managed to somehow get into the players' lounge after the game. I took my England shirt with me and I got a signature from the entire Chelsea squad and the entire Man United squad. And the last, unbelievable. Still have the shirt to this day. It's a priceless relic that I have. I love it.
That's amazing.
And obviously I took my England shirt because I didn't want to show my preference to Chelsea because I was in the Man United Players Lounge at Old Trafford. And I go round and Roy Keane is the last player that I needed to get a signature.
Newcastle in trouble. Good save, Nick Pope. Chance
Mbappe with an overhead kick.
Mbappe tries the overhead kicks and it
Blocked.
flops. He flops it. He's not got Nacho. Who does he think he is?
It's blocked.
Okay, so Roy Keane.
So I go up to Roy Keane and I'm going to do my impression of what I sounded like as a 9-year-old kid. And I go, Mr. Keane, can I please have a signature for my England shirt? And he looks at me and he's got his, I think he had a pint in his hand. And do you know what he said? He said, fuck off. Deadly serious. Deadly serious. So I've got a complete collection, but Roy Keane wasn't on that shirt. And ever since then, I swore that I hated Roy Keane.
That is really harsh, by the way.
Really harsh. Really harsh. Told me to F off.
You're 9 years old and Roy Keane's saying fuck off.
There you go.
Did he lose that day?
Deadly serious. They did lose.
Yes. Do you know what?
Dear.
Fair one. Honestly. Mate, that's
dear.
fucking
It's
mental.
deadly serious.
I'm not being funny,
that
right?
happens.
Like, as much as I love the whole Roy Keane's a miserable bastard thing,
Yeah.
you've got to be a dick to tell a 9-year-old to fuck off.
I was gutted.
With it. When a 9-year-old wants a signature on a shirt and you've lost the game, whatever, to tell a young lad like that to fuck off, you've got to be a dick. And don't get me wrong, I knew Roy Keane was a dick, but you're a monumental dick for doing that. Like, that's a proper wanker to do that. And do you know what? Sure, I would have fucking knocked you out. Honestly.
Dear. And some people say
I'm shocked at that.
No, but some people say because it was an English shirt that he wouldn't sign it.
So
But
what?
I mean,
mate, he's 9 years
mate,
old.
mate,
What do you want from him?
can we just say though?
Do you really
I
think a 9-year-old's expecting to know your heritage, you fucking prick?
had players from all over the world sign that shirt. All over the world. But Roy did not want to sign it.
Fucking
and do you know what? I was gutted.
Everyone's saying he's Irish. Fucking mate. Do you know what it is, right? Whenever wait there, Garnacho, where he's signing the players thing. You see the video of these young lads. Like, what is football about but making young lads' dreams come true? And this bloke was that much of a bellend, he wouldn't sign a shirt for a 9-year-old kid. Anyone defending him, you are sucking the cock of Roy Keane too much. Get a grip of yourself.
Gordon's in.
No, he's a bellend for that, like.
Yeah.
And I think he's a hard cunt, but I'd fucking knock him out. So I don't care. Right?
I was absolutely gutted because I really did. I wanted the whole Man United squad. They were lovely.
Keane was a legend.
Yeah.
Like, even though you had the beef with Shearer, I always admired him. But to tell a young lad like that to fuck off, you're a wanker, mate.
Yeah.
Do you know how, like, when I meet, like, young boxing fans at Misfit shows, I literally will spend however long they need taking photos. It doesn't matter if I'm busy or look, who am I? I'm not fucking Roy Keane Champions League winner. So for that, I just think he's a tosser for that. Like, that's a knob jockey.
There you go.
Awesome.
And all the other Man United players were absolutely lovely. They were really, really nice.
Yeah.
They were brilliant. But there you go. 9-year-old Josh Story for. I'll send you a picture of the shirt. Unbelievable. The shirt is beautiful. And do you know what? Fuck him.
We're clipping it up. I'll tag him. Anthony Gordon is really... Oh, he's been taken down! And that's a yellow
Send him
card.
off.
And I tell you what, he's lucky it's only a yellow because that was a dangerous place. And Anthony Gordon is showing his quality here. And there was a little bit of irony, right, before the game because people were going, Anthony Gordon, Newcastle's Mbappe. But look... Am I saying Anthony Gordon has the quality of Mbappe? I'm not. But in terms of effectivity in this game, Anthony Gordon is showing he is a fucking serious player in Champions League football right now. He looks great. One of the best players this season for Newcastle, easily. And we're causing problems. And if we do the double over PSG, they're now looking at bringing on 2 substitutes. No wonder, because they fucking need something out of somewhere. Someone said they like Keane more now.
Yeah,
prick.
it's true.
You prick. Fuck off. That was a hell of a story, though. I'll give Josh that.
Seb's just sent us another one. He's got the hat trick of Super Chats. We have to read that one out. Read that one out for Seb.
Okay, Newcastle free kick. I will be right with you, Seb.
Seb, we're coming.
It's Kieran Trippier and Fabian Shaw. 2 defenders. Trips hits it off the wall. Just finishing the hat trick. Just want to say I've been watching Brian's content since around 2016. Watch your stuff ever since. Wish you all the best. Cheers, Sebi. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it, man. And as Roy Keane would say, fuck off. That story's blown me away, you know.
Has it?
You've never told me that.
No.
That is mental.
No. I mean, it was traumatic, mate. That's why.
Mate, of course. You were fucking 9 years old. Grown man tells you to fuck off at 9.
I was, yeah.
Mate, he's got problems, him. He's got mental problems.
My old man saw it as well, and he couldn't believe it either. He just said, "Don't worry about that."
Go on.
He said, "Don't worry about that man. He's a very naughty man," is what he said. I think the quote was.
Well, he's very fortunate that your dad didn't chin him, to be honest.
I don't think my dad would chin him. Yeah. I don't think my dad would.
Your dad's a lovely man. That's what.
Yeah. I don't think he'd want to be anywhere near him.
No, but realistically, he was asking for it. That was a bell-end move. That like.
Yeah.
I
think anyone saying that time has not synced, it is. That's where we're up to in the game.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, you might not be saying it, but at least you know where we're at.
That's where we're at. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't expect an Irishman to sign an English shirt, mate. Come on.
Was that? I don't know if that was naive, but also like the only reason why we went for the England shirt, just to clarify that, was because I was a Chelsea fan. I didn't want to get a signed Man United shirt because I'm a Chelsea. I'm not going to put a Man United shirt on my wall. So you
want something that everyone can sign.
I had a neutral shirt.
Mate, do you know what it is, right? I've had Sunderland fans come up to me in Newcastle.
Yeah.
And they're like, mate, I'm a Sunderland fan, but I love your content. I'm not telling them to fuck off because they're fucking silly little fucking, like, I'm not going to be a cunt to them. Do you know what I mean?
At 9 years old, I wasn't asking for a political
statement. Mate, you're a fucking child. Yeah. This is insane.
I wasn't asking for a
He's an absolute cunt.
Statement.
He's an absolute bellend.
And I understand the issues, but I definitely didn't understand the issues when I was 9. So
I mean, is he really expecting a 9-year-old to understand the fucking complexities, the fucking issues, tensions between Irish and English politics?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Absolute
Would you
wanker.
sign a Sunderland shirt, Brian? Yes, you would.
No, honestly, if a 9-year-old kid comes up to me and is like, look, can you sign my shirt? I don't really give a shit what you're holding because I feel like there's a what's the word? A responsibility from a guy who's being appreciated by a young kid to behave a certain way, right? You don't want to disappoint them. And I just think that's a knob move, that me. Like I've had kids cry when they've met me, and I know people might think that's a bit like mental because I did as well because I'm just a fucking YouTuber. But you never know how much you mean to someone. You never know what that moment means to them. And that's why being humble and knowing your place in the world is important. And I've never ever, as much as I'm a dick on camera at times and I'm fucking stupid and arrogant or whatever, when I meet people in real life and they want to have a chin wag, I'm always there. You know what I mean? And I think, not trying to make myself out to be motherfucking Teresa, but like there's just a certain level of decorum you're supposed to conduct yourself with, especially a young lad.
I was shaking with nerves.
Of course you were.
I was shaking.
Mate, when I met Alan Shearer, when I was a fucking 10-year-old, I was like fucking a bag of smashed crabs. I couldn't keep myself together. You know, I couldn't. I was a bag of nerves, mate, and I know how that feels.
Do you know you've got that picture with Alan?
Yeah.
When you were a kid. I've got almost exactly the same picture with me and JT.
Yeah, I like that.
When he was driving in a Corsa.
That was wild.
Unbelievable.
What were we saying? Would you sign a Sunderland shirt? Yeah, like I say, for a young lad, I would let that like slide because I'm like,
I would sign a Spurs shirt now. I don't care.
But if a 20-year-old bloke comes up to me, I'm like, no, mate, come on. Yeah, you know better. But when it's in context, you're not trying to be a prick to some.
I understand the difference between England.
Someone said he took English wages, didn't he? I mean, yeah, damn right he did. He played for an English football club as well. Comparing football and rivalries to Ireland and England.
There's context. There's context. Are you
mental? It's a 9-year-old kid.
Yeah,
man.
I didn't know the context at the time. I'll tell you that for sure.
Well, even then, I mean, because he's 9, you should have the wherewithal to go. It's a 9-year-old lad. He doesn't.
He could have also said, "I don't want to sign an English shirt," and I would have been.
Have you got anything else I can sign?
Yeah.
Whatever. Fuck off. There's no world in any way possible where it's okay to tell a 9-year-old lad to fuck off. Like, for that reason. Yeah. Like, that's bang out of order, man. Come on.
Do you know what?
Mbappe down the right-hand side, by the way.
The autograph era.
Yeah.
Like, nowadays, it's all
I've got them all, you know.
It? Yeah.
I've got.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, Mbappe.
They're in.
Crossing.
Oh, it's Pope again. Strong right-hand save,
Mate.
almost from point-blank range.
Nick Pope has really proven himself tonight on the world stage, man.
Just want to say, We said it. I said don't wish for another goalkeeper. He's been great.
This has been a 10 out of 10 performance from Nick Pope.
Get him in the England squad.
I think it's outrageous.
Get him in the England squad.
It's outrageous that he's not in it. 2 hat tricks to the stream. Love to Josh and Brian. Big love, Khalil. Thank you, mate. Nick Pope again. What a save. Pope, what a save. Brian, pleasure to watch your show. Bro, pleasure. Mate, thanks very much, Brian. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's another Brian.
Nick Pope, Jesus, someone said.
We love him.
Get in. Joe Linton heads the cross away. Newcastle resolute, hard work. And right now, I'm accepting. We might not make this to the end of the game. But if we do, my admiration for this lot will go through the fucking roof. What a team. And even if we don't, like, I'm really proud of them, man. Because as Josh has been saying, like, by right, should we even be in the Champions League when we've got this level of talent? Like, is there talented players in the team? Like I said at the start of the stream, Isak, Bruno, Anthony Gordon. Yes, there is some talented players, but a lot of them are massively overperforming through the sheer grit, determination, hard work. Lewis Smiley, 17-year-old, they're in behind though. And he's put it wide.
What an awful shot.
Thank you very much.
Bradley Barcola, a player that Chelsea were desperate to sign. Maybe good that we did.
Brian, No. Sorry. That was a weird question.
Let's not do that one.
I don't know how you quantify
Let's not do that one.
Long term, who would you like to see on the right-hand side as a Trippier replacement? I think we've got him. Livramento, yeah, he's there, mate. I think we are very fortunate to potentially have Livramento and Lewis Hall, depending on the way Lewis Hall plays. Lewis Hall likes to play further forward. He may do a Gareth Bale. He may actually sit in midfield. I think he can play all over the park. But Livramento and Lewis Hall as left back and right back, we could have ourselves set for the next 5 to 10 years with those two.
Julio says, will you guys have another Liverpool voice on the kickoff again? 100%.
We've got one lined up, actually.
Very soon you will have a very
We've got 2 lined up. So shout out to them. I can't wait to invite them on. I won't spoil the surprise.
Yeah.
And also someone said, am I going to visit any Newcastle matches? Me and Josh.
Penalty shout.
Oh, they're piling the pressure on the referee.
There will be a VAR check on this one. I'm sure of it.
I think he got the ball personally.
So yeah, we're going to go see a game.
I really hope it's not a penalty.
I'm really looking forward to that.
Is it a pen? Is it a pen?
He's pausing. It's not looking good, Brian. It's not looking good. If he goes to the monitor, you know what's going to happen. It looked clumsy.
I think this is so unfair, though, because on the balance of play, I don't think PSG have been...
Chat, is it a penalty? Please let us know. They're looking at it. This is where the VAR experience is shite. Oh. No penalty.
No penalty!
Get him. Get in.
Fuck me, my heart was in me fucking arse.
Don't.
Come on!
Don't. Oh, it was clumsy. So Gordon comes in. His hands are on Hakimi.
No, he doesn't touch him enough, though, does he?
But you've seen those given. I'm not saying it should be.
I wouldn't give a penalty.
I'm not saying it should be, but I'm saying you've seen it.
Someone said he didn't get the ball. He didn't get the man either. He did nothing. He was running next to him.
Clear pen. I don't get that. Yeah. There you go. I think that would have been very, very, very harsh.
Oh, City drawn.
Yeah.
Fucking hell! Wow,
back.
what?
They always do. They always come back, don't they?
I know Leipzig aren't as good as City, but like a 2-0, you think, and shut the fucking shop up, right?
The XG is saying that Man City 1.23 versus 0.41 for Leipzig, so they deserve to be back.
Someone just had an interesting question. Chelsea, if I could take one player from Newcastle, who would it be?
Chelsea taking a player, or you taking a player?
If I could take a player from Chelsea,
go on. I'm very interested.
And we'll play it the other way afterwards.
Yeah, go on.
So for me, it'll be Cole Palmer.
What? But you've been saying to Joey, you've been saying he's been a little bit too nice to Cole Palmer. You've been saying...
No. I really rate Cole Palmer. I just...
Do you need Cole Palmer in your team more than other positions?
Here's the question. Does Cole Palmer do the dirty work?
Yes.
Right. Well, then yes. Because for me, technically, he's superior to Almiron. and that's whose position I would have him on the right side, cutting in on his left foot. I think he'd be amazing there. Other than that, and this is the maddest thing about it, is when I look at how much money Chelsea have spent, there's no one, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that they're not good players. There's plenty of good players there. But there's no one I'm like gasping to take outside of Cole Palmer. He's the one I would want. I think he has the potential to, as much as I've joked with Joey, he has the potential to be like world, I don't know.
I think
top Premier League player.
I think, right, let me counter with some other options for you. What about Caicedo?
Good player. I just don't think, for me, I look at Newcastle and I think, do we desperately need him?
Handball shout here in the area. Miley did
okay.
hit his hand. I think that Caicedo would allow Bruno to be higher up the pitch.
Maybe Enzo for that reason as well. But in terms of what we need at Newcastle, it would be Cole Palmer. They're demanding a penalty. PSG, the entitlement of this bunch of bitches, mate. This is a joke. You've literally got the referee coming to give a yellow card to the keeper.
Donnarumma. What?
He's complaining for a penalty. He literally went, it hit his arm when he had the ball instead of playing the game. Yeah. He's been that yellow carded. It would be Cole Palmer.
I think Caicedo and Enzo would improve your midfield. Or one of them.
I mean, he would improve it. It's just our need for a player is more in Cole Palmer's position.
I also think that Chilwell would be a better left back than what you've got, potentially.
Yeah, but again,
Livramento's been playing so well.
Yeah, Cole Palmer. It's Almiron versus Cole Palmer. Mm-hmm. That for me is a major level up. Whereas all the other positions, you've got some better players than we have, but the level up isn't as dramatic.
Right. Shall I go for my one?
Go on then.
I think the overwhelming easiest one that I would go for is Isak.
I just had a thing there and I was like, it's Isak.
It's quite easy, isn't it?
Yeah, he's fucking class.
We're desperate for a striker.
Mate.
And he has been quality. And I love the way he just converts chances, doesn't he? He's very, very good.
He's one of the best footballers as well, though. It's not. Yeah. That's the beautiful thing about Isak is he's not just a striker, he's a footballer as well. Yeah. And there's sometimes, they're not the same thing, right? And it was quite interesting on the kickoff. We had our Arsenal bloke Marvin in, who I love Marvin to bits, but he is still, he rates Isak, but he's like, I don't know if Isak would start for Arsenal. And I was like, I just said literally, and I never go off on people like, I went, that's insane. Like, I just literally, I'm not having it because to me, there's only one football club in the Premier League who Isak doesn't start for, and it's Man City because Erling Haaland's there. Isak, and do you know what? I believe deep down, as good as Erling Haaland is, Isak is more of a pet player than Haaland is.
I love that.
Do you understand the logic?
I love that.
Do you understand the logic?
That's a shout though, isn't it? That's a wild shout.
Yeah, it's a wild one, but it's not that. You can argue with me, Haaland is better than Isak, and I'd be like, the numbers say yes, absolutely, yada, yada, yada.
He is
better. But if we're talking about who plays Pep-style football and who would mesh better with Foden and Grealish and all of that, and who you'd make less sacrifices for the rest of the football team, who could actually keep up in terms of tempo and footballing ability, in terms of interchanging a play, Isak would fit their style, their traditional Man City style, more than Haaland.
Does he score more goals than Haaland?
No way. Haaland, that's why Haaland's there, don't get me wrong, and that's why Haaland, you can make the argument that Haaland is better than Isak, and I can't have an argument against it, because the numbers don't lie. But if I'm talking about who I think Pep, would like in his side, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I just think Isak is a footballer and a striker. And that's where the comparisons come in with your likes of a Thierry Henry. Not that he's on the level of Thierry Henry, but there's similarities there.
Okay, let's have a fun little game.
Oh, we've got another one. Brian Dale says, who would you take from Man United if you had to? Good shout.
That's a very, very hard question to answer.
It is really hard.
I'd say Mason Mount.
Fuck me. Bruno Fernandes.
I am joking. I wouldn't want Bruno.
Probably Bruno Fernandes, to be honest with you. Although I really like Garnacho. I think he's fun to watch. He's ferocious. He's a runner. Speaking of runners, Mbappe and Nick
Pope again.
Pope were currently, not to jinx him, man of the
Don't
match
say
level
it.
performance.
Don't say it. You said that way
sorry,
too early.
sorry.
You said that
Sorry,
way too
sorry.
early.
Yeah, I'd say Bruno Fernandes, the levels that he's on. However, my worry would be, and this is I know Man United fans won't like this, but Newcastle are big on character, and I think Bruno Fernandes' character is questionable.
I think he'd be rubbish for you. I don't think he'd buy into the system.
Yeah, I worry about that. So I think Højlund would.
I think Højlund would.
Yeah, Højlund's very much like a team player, grafter.
Højlund
fast.
would be the one that I put in for Chelsea.
Imagine Højlund and fucking Anthony Gordon running at defences together. That'd be blistering.
He would score 20+ goals for you.
Yeah,
a season.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'd still start Isak over Højlund, but having those two as options, bloody hell, that'd be insane. That.
Should we do a combined Newcastle?
Who
Chelsea
would you take
11?
from United? Did you say Højlund?
I would say Højlund.
Yeah,
I would.
The trike.
I'm thinking about who else could be up there, and I know you're going to laugh at me for saying this. I think Scott McTominay is very underrated. I think he's been very good.
No, I agree. I must admit,
he's been
right?
very good.
I was shitting on McTominay for a while, and rightly so. Like, he's had some shocking performances.
Proven everyone wrong.
No, he's come good this season. However, you only can say you've proven everyone wrong when you do it for longer than half a...
True.
He's got to do it for a bit longer. But look, do you know what it is, right? I really admired the kid when he did that interview and he was like, you know what? I watched the David Beckham documentary last night and it fucking lit a fire under us. Like,
yeah.
That was the sort of thing he said. Like, not with the fucking, but, And I thought, we want to hear that as fans. We want to hear... that the way we watched, because I'm not a Man United fan, I'm a Man United hater for Christ's sake. But when I watched that documentary, I was like, "Fuck me, this is inspiring. This is. If you're a footballer, you watch this and you get motivated. And for him to come out with that, it makes you want to. As a fan, you connect with players like that, and they feel a bit human. Like Joe Linton after the Chelsea game said, "We're a family. Like we play for each other." And Josh pointed that out on the kickoff, and it's spot on.
So true. And he would fit in so well to your team. And actually, you were saying, I really don't want to have Scott McTominay. Honestly, now, do you regret that decision? Because now you haven't got Tonali.
Yeah.
I actually think he's a like. He actually might be better than Tonali.
I think Tonali is actually really good.
Yeah, I agree. I like him.
I just don't think we've seen anywhere near the best of him. And even Eddie Howe's saying Tonali's playing so well in training, it's really gutting to see that he can't play. And I feel really shit about that for him because he's just a guy, right? He's fucked up. And I think that it's so many months out of the game. But
can he appeal it? I think it's done now.
He's fucked. He's fucked.
Shame.
PSG are doing everything they can to break us down, and we are defending for our lives. But to be fair, they're not creating great chances so far. So touch wood, we can keep this going. I do wonder if we want to bring Lewis Hall on just for some fresh legs because we are getting a bit tired. We put a lot of
Hall
graft
for
in.
Miley would be the one that I'd go for. Now, this is an interesting one. Max has said here, right? He's named a few players: Varane, Shaw, Martinez, Mainu and Casemiro, right? Varane doesn't even get in the United team.
Yeah.
Right? Shaw isn't better than the 3 left backs that Chelsea have. He might be better than Cucurella, but he's not better than Chilwell. And he's not better than Colwell at the moment either. Colwell's been brilliant. And for you could argue that Shaw gets a new team. Quite easily, actually.
Right now, I'd play Livramento ahead of Luke Shaw.
There you go.
But that's on form right now. I understand that Luke Shaw. No Man United fan would be wrong in saying Luke Shaw has done enough to prove he should be ahead of everyone.
Yeah,
that we're listing. But right now he's coming off another injury. Like, I don't know how much longer Luke Shaw is Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
Right now, but I do think Luke Shaw, by argument, should win this debate. He should be ahead of our left backs.
Shaw is literally one of the best left backs in the world by Ben. That is an insane shout.
No, but he did play in the World Cup final. He has played at the top level for a long time.
Best left backs in the world.
But he's a good left back. He's a very good Premier League
He's
left back.
Good Premier League left back. Yes.
Yeah.
Best in the world, no. So Martinez, right?
I'm just listening to people. What am I listening?
Martinez, I don't think he's better than Botman.
No, but it would be Martinez and Botman, I would assume.
There you go.
you'll see on tomorrow's vid. We've got a video coming out. I don't know if it's tomorrow or the day after. Combined 11, Man United versus Newcastle. Man United, and because we're playing next weekend. Pretty good one. And it's pretty competitive.
Get ready for that.
So, yeah. But I just hope Newcastle can hang on here. It's 80 minutes played. We're in the 81st minute, and it's across the goal. Kieran Trippier clears, and the disciplined work of Newcastle, especially from our midfield as well. We're giving everything here. I really hope we have a lot of recovery planned before Man United, because the lads are getting tired, and there's 10 minutes left to play. And, you know, PSG are showing a lot of energy breaking into the box.
Wow.
Good block from Jamal Lascelles. Another good block from Jamal Lascelles. This man, what a bloody hell, man.
You're going to have to defend for your lives. In the
Yeah.
last minutes.
Mbappe is going to be fucking demanding this.
Jesus.
Dembele flashes the ball wide from less than 6 yards out. He should have scored. He got ahead of his man, Fabian Shaw. I mean, this was the moment where I genuinely thought, that's it, it's a goal. We've given it. And look, I can't blame the lads. If they concede from here on out, I'm not going to...
A draw would be a good
Mate,
result.
I'm not going to slag them off, man.
Yeah.
What the fuck? They've given everything here. This is a team that has had astronomical amounts of money put into it. But we haven't done that. I'm just so proud of the effort that's gone in. And I said that before the game. This isn't me just, you know, recency bias or anything like that. You know, if we're playing this game about if you could take one player, and I think we should do this with... I'll write this down for the kickoff. If you could take one player from the top 6, kickoff. I'm going to try. And
I like this. I like this shout from Patrick. He said that Cucurella is a better left back than Shaw. That, you know, that's the kind of take that I would get abuse for.
Yeah,
but you know,
and rightly so.
He's
okay.
That's a good.
We're going to have time to think
series.
about this, but we're going to do it properly on the kickoff this weekend. But let's just say Arsenal.
What one player would I want? I would say Odegaard. I really like Odegaard. I think he is going to be top 10 players in the world level if he's not already.
Yeah.
He's very
What about
good.
the defenders?
I like the defenders a lot. I just think that Odegaard can create goals out of nowhere. Yeah. And I feel that our defenders are okay. And so, and also, a defender's quite a boring shout.
For me, it would be Saka. And it's not because I don't rate Odegaard. It's just for us,
right?
Having Saka would be outrageous for us. That would be so good. Come on, lads, get rid of it.
Okay, City. Who would you want from City?
Ooh.
There's two clear.
Ooh.
Well, actually, there's no. I'll take that back. There's a lot of shouts. I was going to say there's two. I was going to say it's Haaland or Rodri, isn't it?
Yeah,
really?
let us know your shouts, by the
actually.
way. In the chat, by the way. Rodri's a great shout. I must admit, I'm leaning Rodri.
I think Rodri is...
I think he's such
immense.
A difference maker, everyone, isn't he?
I agree. But...
he's not exciting, but he's fucking immense.
We've been doing a lot of hat-tricks here. I'm going to go for the hat-tricks of strikers and say we're desperate for a striker. I'd go for Haaland.
Oh, Haaland is undeniable. Yeah. I'd say Rodri, just because I think Newcastle with Rodri, we're a threat for the Premier League. He's that fucking good, man. He's a joke. So, yeah.
What's mad is that you're saying you don't want a striker that has scored 35 plus goals in the Premier League.
Yeah, and
which is insane.
To be honest, if you look at Newcastle's goals conversion, it's actually the best in the Premier League, I think, in terms of chance conversion rate. We're actually really good at scoring goals.
You are. And converting them.
It's just controlling games, like with the Liverpool game where we fucked it against Nunes, right? Yeah. We just need to keep control. Shout out to Brian. Thanks for... the super chat, bro. Big love.
Please don't go broke.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah.
Someone saying boring Newcastle. I'll take it all fucking day, bro.
I used to.
Do you know what this is called? Game management.
We used to sing that at Chelsea. We used to go boring Chelsea, and we used to love it because people used to say, "Oh, you only get the 1-0 wins, mate. We were winning leagues. Who cares?"
Mate,
we conceded 16 goals in the Premier League. Can you believe that?
The more I watch Eddie Howe's football, the more I think he can win a Premier League title, and the more I think he's been massively underrated by everyone. I think they've made a big mistake, and if he gets the money, If he gets that, Saudi investment, whatever happens in this game, I don't give a shit.
Oh my God! Crossing from PSG from the left-hand side, it nearly finds a way through. Wow. Who would you take from Liverpool? That's a great shout.
I feel like Mo Salah's the obvious one, but if we're going to ignore him, that's a more interesting conversation.
Okay, because
let's just ignore Mo because he's
list.
head and shoulders above all them fuckers, isn't he?
Yeah.
Is it 3-2 City?
It unfortunately,
Jesus, fair play.
Alvarez scores 87.
I've got to admire that.
City. Do you know what? Can I just say before we move on to this? I had a period when I was betting on football quite a lot, where I used to always bet on City when they went a goal down. And they used to do it in the Pellegrini era. They would always, every time they went down, they would always come back.
Do you know why that
Made hundreds of pounds off it.
Spent so much money on players.
Hundreds of pounds.
Okay, Liverpool.
Yeah, go on Liverpool. Yeah, we're taking Salah out of it.
We're not because Salah's the obvious one.
Salah is the obvious one.
Szoboszlai is a good one.
Szoboszlai is good, but also you need
the strength from Mbappe. What a save!
Pope
He
again.
smashed it wide. Nick Pope is a wall.
Man of the match. Simple as that, isn't it?
Imagine being Gareth Southgate sat at home and just being like, yeah, but he's not Pickford, is he?
Can you imagine the odds on Nick Pope to start the first game for England in the Euros?
I've got to say,
it would be insane.
The strength of Mbappe there, that was impressive. He bottomed fucking Fabian Schär off the ball, who was a far bigger man with quite a lot of ease there. For the record, what we were saying before, I'm going to say Szoboszlai. Yeah, I really rate him.
I think you would need one of the wingers more. I think you could take a Diaz and he'd be absolutely immense for you.
Class, isn't he?
I think he would be very good for you.
Diaz or Szoboszlai.
Okay.
Either or.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Who would I take from Liverpool?
Darwin Núñez.
Darwin Núñez.
Imagine Darwin Núñez for Chelsea. That actually would be lit.
It would be insane.
Yeah.
It would be chaotic.
I'd love it. He would definitely do some damage. With you guys, he would do, as the main man. The problem with Liverpool is I think while Mo Salah's there's that issue.
Do you know what? You're right. I might have to go for Núñez. That's a wild shout though. Maybe we go for a false nine and sort of take a Jota or something.
Newcastle have currently kept PSG to 1-0 down, and it is the 88th minute, and I am in shock. And we haven't even made a substitute, have we?
Cloud9, no. That's a joke in itself. You need to make some subs.
I am worried.
Your boys are going to be knackered.
The fatigue, yeah.
Do you know what? People have convinced me in the chat. I might go Alisson. Alisson is a good shout. I like that.
Alisson is an amazing shout, by the way.
Yeah.
You know what? I think Alisson, I know a lot of people disagree, but I think he's one of the best goalkeepers I've ever seen in my life.
Well, we're going to find out how good he is because he's gone missing for a while, isn't he? He's injured. He's got a hamstring injury.
Fuck me, that is horrendous for Liverpool's season. That literally could fuck the whole season. That's how good he is.
Goalkeeper.
I'm not saying he's not.
like Keller.
Yeah, Salah's obviously the one we'd actually
we're not going to
take.
but
we're just saying for the sake of
we
fun.
can't have Salah,
Yeah. All right, let's drop down.
Okay, do Villa.
Oh. We already did Arsenal, right?
We did Arsenal. I said.
Oh yeah, I said Saka. Do you know what Declan Rice? Anyway, Villa.
We didn't do Spurs. Who would you want from Spurs?
Madison, innit?
Yeah, you could have.
I wish Newcastle had fucking
had
him.
Mate,
we tracked that bastard for 2 fucking years.
Yeah.
Newcastle are in the 89th, now 90th minute rather, and we're struggling to keep a hold of the ball a lot. We're punting it long, and Paris keep picking it up. We can't keep a hold of it. And defensively, the legs are slowing down. So what's up? 8 minutes, 1-0, and there's 8 minutes extra time. There's not been a sending off. There's not been an injury. That is fucking absolute fraudulence.
That's what happens when you time waste, Brian. You know, it catches up. Catches up with you.
Mate, we played 3 minutes added time in the first half.
I know.
This is bullshit.
I know.
This is bullshit.
This Barcola, he hasn't been good. He hasn't been good. Fair play to City for coming back.
Oh, God. 8 minutes is insane. Fuck me. I can't believe that shit.
Villa, you have to go Watkins, don't you, really? But you don't need a striker, so you would maybe go Douglas Luiz, maybe? Oh, my God. He's been awful.
Oh, no.
Barcola, he's been awful.
Newcastle are really, really fortunate here. That really could have been... and we're looking at it like... I don't want to count my chickens because I'm certainly not, but as when you see a shot like that, which should be in the back of the net, going that high over the bar, you're thinking, this is a bit of a miracle performance. This is, we've got 11 fit players, 12 if you including Hall on the bench, who's 18 years old.
Enrique is fuming on the bench.
This is PSG, by the way.
Yeah,
are going out of the Champions League tonight. Like that. Oh well, maybe. Arguably, yeah.
Yeah.
If we win, they're fucked, aren't they? What is the
so
the group
as
right?
it stands? Dortmund on 5 games played, 10 points. Newcastle 7, Paris Saint-Germain 6, Milan 5.
So they can still qualify.
They can still qualify easily.
Yeah, but it's going to be still hard, right? I mean, this was a game that, let's be clear, PSG are expected to win, and they still could draw at the very least.
Yeah.
We've got a corner to PSG.
Well, you've got Milan at home as the last game of this in the group.
Do you know what?
I'm
not saying would win it, but
I think
I'd be well up for it.
I think you could win it. So if you win that,
oh no,
PSG can't qualify.
Oh, that's it.
If you win that, you're on 10 points.
Did you say they're on 6?
PSG would be on 9 if they won.
They're on 6. We're on 7 if we win.
Yeah.
Right, so we have to win though.
You have to win today.
But bearing in mind, who are they playing? Dortmund.
Yeah.
That's a hard
Top
game.
of the group.
Yeah. So it's not a guarantee that they beat Dortmund.
Not at all.
Do you know what I mean? If they lose or draw and we draw, sit down.
And also, can I just say that's at Dortmund.
Oh, that's even worse because these fuckers shrink under pressure. You know?
And also, Dortmund's a bloody tough place to
go.
go.
We've seen how they performed at St James's and they bottled it.
And also, can I just say that it wouldn't be a dead rubber that game because everyone knows it makes a big difference being the top seed in the Champions League.
Yeah. So Dortmund are going to play their best team.
Yeah.
Like, most likely.
They're going to have to. They're going to have to. So winning this game, it does completely change the competition.
I do wonder if Dortmund are guaranteed, though, because we're on... Oh, no, they wouldn't be because we'd be on 7 points and they'd be on 10.
If you won that game, you would be on 10 points. But
Yeah.
you have to win. You have to win.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah. PSG... You know what? We've really been problematic for this lot.
Yeah.
There's 5 minutes left, though, and anything can happen. And I'm very aware that, if we're being honest, on the balance of play, PSG deserve a draw out of this at the very least, despite them not creating, like, they've created good chances, but it's not like they've dominated.
But also, like, when you say they deserved a draw, they've missed their chances.
Yeah.
So, like, deserving a draw, you need to convert. At least some of them.
I'm just really proud of our organisation, and I know we might make a mistake here, and that just happens sometimes. But we've really tried and done our best here. Like, I don't give a fuck what happens. I'm not slagging the lads off for this. Like, they've been fucking tremendous.
God, you can't slag them off. This
No
is
way.
unbelievable performance. Unbelievable performance.
Yeah.
So look, I mean, that's going to be. We've got to stream that game. That's going to be a massive game.
Mate, I thought we were out.
Yeah, I thought you were as well.
Dortmund are already guaranteed to be top, apparently. Is that true? Even if we win?
Let me do some quick maths. If they lost, they would still be on 10. It's head-to-head in the Champions League, so it would be based on...
I think we drew once and then they beat us, right? So that would be them through.
Yeah. Oh,
Chance,
it's a handball shout.
That's not
fair.
fair.
They're going for it. It does hit his hand. And now what's going to happen is they'll VAR it. They'll slow it right down. They'll pause it on the moment that it hits his hand. And they'll give a penalty. And that is a joke.
Oh,
that is a joke. They need to sort this handball rule out because that had no bearing on whether he would have gone through on goal.
Well, I know it hit his arm, but, like, how on earth is he supposed to fucking stop that?
Yeah, this is... Oh, Ali McCoy is devastated. So they're going to look at this. This is the worst thing about VAR, mate, is they'll slow it down and it will look worse than it is. What do we think, chat? Is it a penalty? Let us know.
How is it a penalty though when it bounces that hard up at him?
Show us
How
the
the fuck is he
fucking-
supposed to do anything?
Show
with
us the replay, lads. Oh, he's going to the monitor, which you know what that means. Nick Pope is going to have an unbelievable moment in the last moments, the dying embers of this game.
that? Fucking joke, man. They didn't
Oh my God. People saying Stonewall, 100% penalty. Let's have a look at this replay because we haven't even seen the replay yet. He's been very good. A lot of people saying pens. A lot of people. Look, so they paused it already. They've paused it already. It hits his hand.
Oh,
mate.
come on. How are you supposed to stop
I know.
that?
I know. Oh, it goes off his body as well. So it goes off his body onto his
How
hand.
is he supposed? He doesn't know anything about it.
So the referee is walking away. He's indicated towards the hand. Oh, and he's given the penalty. Like, we need to just get this rule sorted out, don't we? It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a travesty.
Joke. Absolute
Didier
joke.
Drogba said it best. Disgrace. You knew it was coming though, didn't you? In a weird way. There was always going to be a sting
No,
in the
because
tailhead.
sometimes you just think common sense will play
Yeah.
a role. Like, if that kid puts his arm out in any way, shape, or form, lads, just listen, right? Like, this pussy culture in football is actually starting to piss me off because, look, we all want to win based on what's meant to happen, right? If he deliberately puts his hand out, the word deliberate handball.
Yeah.
Deliberate handball was what we grew up.
Yeah.
Was it
Preventing a
deliberate?
goal-scoring
Was it
opportunity with your
deliberate, and
hands.
was it intentional to prevent a goal-scoring opportunity? Now, what it means is, did it accidentally bounce up off his elbow after it hit his hip, and did he know anything about it?
He scored
Did it
it.
fuck?
Mbappe has slapped it.
Do you know
top
what?
Right hand corner.
Mbappe has done fuck all against Newcastle in 2 rounds of 90 minutes, and this kid calls himself the best bloke in the world. I'm sorry. You should be ashamed of the way you've performed, mate. You've been a fucking fraud. Fraud.
I
Absolute
have to
fraud.
say, we need to have a really good look at the rule
Absolute
for
joke, man.
handballs.
I'm sick of this shit now.
because it was going nowhere near the goal. It didn't really prevent a pass.
No, but like, here's the thing. I know people are going to enjoy the whole, I'm pissed off or whatever. But look at the state of the game, man. Look at VAR. We're supposed to be fucking talking about deliberate handballs to prevent goal-scoring opportunities. And instead, we're talking about something bouncing off a lad's hip, hitting him on the bottom of the elbow that he clearly has no idea about. And then we're talking about a penalty for that. And then Mbappe's running away as if he's, look at me. Mate, you're a fucking sham. Grow up, man. You fucking bellend. You should be ashamed of the way you've performed because so far against Newcastle, you ain't shown me shit, bitch. You've been pathetic against us 2 games in a row. You've done nothing.
Oh, head on the far post. He's had a lot of chances, this guy. He's had a lot of chances.
Mate, the fact is, Mbappe needed a referee to gift him a fucking goal to score against Newcastle because he did nothing in 2 rounds of 90 minutes. So all of you lot who worship this guy, don't get me wrong, great footballer, but against Newcastle, he hasn't done fuck all, mate. Honestly.
You've kept him quiet all game.
Yeah. Brian crying, the little hater. You're on me stream, you fucking bitch. You know what I mean? No, I'm pissed off because do you know what it is, right? I don't mind losing when it's fair. Against Bournemouth, we lost against Bournemouth. Do you know what I did? Took it on the chin because we deserved it. But tonight, we've been robbed by failures in football, not by the ability of PSG. And now that little bitch Mbappe is fucking moaning, mate, you ain't done shit to Newcastle United. Newcastle United shouldn't even be in the Champions League, according to a lot of people. We played against Mbappe twice, and do you know what the kid could do? Nothing. Until the referee gave him a goal. And that's why he's pissed off, because this guy likes to walk around like he's Messi and Ronaldo. You're not fit to lace their fucking boots, kid. You're a mile away from that level.
It tells you everything you need to know about this game, that Mbappe was the first person to go up to the ref after the game.
Oh, he's a bitch, man.
First person to go to the ref.
Fuck off. Do you know what? You could only score against lowly little Newcastle by a ball hitting the hip of a player and then the bottom of his elbow that he knew nothing about, and you get gifted a penalty. And this is the thing, right? Deliberate handball is what penalties are supposed to be given for. How could it be deliberate if you knew nothing about it? This is a joke at this point. And unfortunately, look, I'm not going to go on and on about this because wankers like Mikel Arteta, I don't want to be like that, right? What's happened has happened. We all know the game is fucked. But the reality is, I'm proud of this lot because what a performance by Newcastle. But that little cunt, Mbappe, you know what he's angry about? The guy's been exposed by Newcastle. You couldn't do now to him, mate. You literally offered nothing. In 2 banks of fucking 90 minutes, you did fuck all. And only when the referee gave you the goal could you actually score against it. This lot, this Newcastle team, they're still booing now because PSG haven't won here. We've drawn. And I'm still really proud of this lot. What a performance by Newcastle. We were never going to win the Champions League anyway. I'm cool with that. But what a performance. And this failing PSG team who religiously on the big stage bottle it with Kylian Mbappe needed a referee to hand them the game. And yet they still could only get a draw. So they're pathetic, man. And do you know what? Fuck Paris, because the way them lot, the violence that they've shown our fans over there, fuck these lot. Honestly, I'm not impressed with the way their club conduct themselves on the pitch. Their fans conduct themselves. They're a fucking shit club, and I'm glad they've never won a Champions League. Fuck you lot. Do I sound bitter enough? I'm getting there.
I have to say, right, we're looking at the table now, though. You could have easily been out of this group. Easily. After this game, you could have easily been out of this group.
Eddie Howe's black and white army.
Yeah, you are nowhere near out of this group. All you need to do is beat Milan.
Mate, this game sums everything.
And you've got a chance.
This game sums everything about Newcastle up. The skill, the desire, the determination. I know Eddie and the lads will be downbeat a little bit. They should be so proud of themselves. Because guess what? In 2 games against PSG, we fucking hammered them. 4-1, and they drew against them. PSG couldn't beat us. So everyone, cry. Mbappe is the one crying. Why? Because he hasn't shown shit against Newcastle. So all you lot worshipping Mbappe, if this is your new Messi and Ronaldo, I've got news for you. I'll watch Cristiano Ronaldo rip Newcastle to shreds. This cunt isn't fit to lace his boots in his prime. He's nowhere near that level. So stick to the Farmers League, because I don't think you're quite ready for Newcastle United in the Premier League, mate. Just saying. Am I bitter? Maybe.
So it's in PSG's hands, right? All they need to do is beat Dortmund, and they go through.
I think we'll end up in the Europa now. But
scenario could be they draw against Dortmund.
I wouldn't put it past them. This PSG lot are shit, man. They're not good. And Mbappe doesn't even want to be there, man. Do you know everyone worshipping Mbappe? Do you know what a fucking entitled prat he is? This man has been given everything a footballer could want, and he's still a miserable little fart. So fuck him. Yeah.
So if they draw that game and you win, you go through on head-to-head.
Yeah.
So you could have the last laugh here.
Oh, I would love it. And I love the fact that Eddie Howe's black and white army have got the so-called best player in the world rattled like the little bitch that he is. Do you know what? Everyone celebrates his best game ever, and he didn't even win it. He didn't even win his best game.
This is what we were saying though earlier on. He's got unbelievable quality. He is up there in one of the best players in the world.
Stinks.
But the attitude is awful. Yeah. And it's really, really bad.
Stinks.
And you can see him going to Real Madrid and getting worse, can't you?
Yeah.
You know?
No, mate, anyone who's got a brain should stay clear of Mbappe because his attitude stinks. Fuck that prick. So yeah, I'm really proud of the lads. I think we've shown in the last 2 games with the win against Chelsea and now drawing away to PSG. They've got a lot of quality. We've proven over 2 legs, we were the better side. That's not up for debate. We scored 5, conceded 2. We were the better side, even with Mbappe. So,
do you think Eddie Howe goes into that press conference now, and do you think he blames the refs?
Oh, I think he's probably going to say not, but he's not going to act like a bitch like Arteta. He's going to conduct himself with dignity, unlike me, with class. And look, I'm frustrated, but I'm absolutely proud of the lads. This is the thing that to remember is for a lot of people, they're looking at Newcastle right now as a major threat. we're miles ahead of schedule. So for me, I'm like, we're already punching way above our weight. And in the next 2 years, when we keep adding to this squad, that's when we're going to ruin people. That's when we're going to break hearts. That's when we're going to kill dreams. And that's all going to come. And all the signs are right there in this game. The way we controlled Kylian Mbappe to only being able to hit the back of the net when a corruption, like a shocking rule, is gifted him the chance to score from the spot. We were cruising to a 1-0 win there. Like every chance they got, they were blowing it wide. They weren't good enough to beat us twice. So ultimately, we've beaten them twice outside of that referee decision, and only for the stupidity of footballing rules are we not in pole position to qualify for the knockout stages, which is a shame. But equally, we weren't going to win this tournament, and I can accept it. But I'm still proud of the lads, big time.
Look, and the fact of the matter is, you're still completely in the group. You can still qualify very easily. You know, you could beat AC Milan at home. You know, that is a winnable game.
The most important thing for the team and the morale, which is the long-term thing, which I'm always thinking about, is we've shown what we're made of in the Champions League, and that we are here to really be a thorn in the sides of a lot of these teams. So whether or not we do anything this season, we weren't expecting it. Not a big deal. But in the Europa League, in whatever comes next season and the season after, we're here and we're mean business. And we've proven that against one of the best funded sides in world football. And the best bit about it is PSG, who should be automatically qualifying top of the group, could not beat us. And we beat them once. We drew against them through a bullshit referee decision. We should have beaten them twice. So this is the level of Newcastle United now. And for all it's going to be hard for the lads to take, I hope they just keep their head and go, yeah, we know what we did there.
You've got to be incredibly proud of their overall performance today.
1,000,000%.
You were 90 seconds off winning that game and deserved to have won.
Yeah,
really.
Honestly, and this is the thing that people don't understand, is that people are like messaging here going all about how gutted I am. Genuinely, 2 years ago, we were facing relegation. We're dominating. Right? We're in Europe. We've humped them 4-1, and they've needed a referee to give them a draw. That's pathetic. We are absolutely overachieving. I'm in dreamland right now. So you guys, like, as much as I'm disappointed about the referee decision, I'm buzzing to be like. For me, I just don't want us to have a bad performance, so then it affects the Man United game and the Premier League and all of that. We were great tonight. So yeah, I feel like we're good.
I think bookmark this moment now, because it feels absolutely horrendous now. But in 2 weeks' time, when we're watching this game against Milan and we hit the full-time whistle, there could be a very, very different perspective on this.
Yeah.
We could be feeling very different to the way that you're feeling now.
Yeah.
And that's coming.
No,
that's going to be a huge stream.
I'm honestly like, I know. Obviously, at first, I'm pissed off, right? And people are like, "Oh, like I'm seeing some mad comments." And look, I understand you all got your own opinions, right? But some people are saying that this was a bad group. This was the hardest group in the Champions League, so that's bollocks.
Group of death.
PSG aren't even good, bro. I mean, literally, they were in the Champions League final not long ago. So come on, like for a Newcastle fan who didn't even dream we'd be in the Champions League, this is a good test for us to look at them and go, they've got the best player, arguably, in world football, and you're saying they're not good. Is it crack you're on, bro? Like, this is supposed to be the guy who destroys us on his own. Scored 3 goals in a World Cup final, right? Almost outshone Messi, the greatest player of all time. And guess what? We kept him quieter than a church mouse. So, of course, I can take positives from that. And if you're not happy about it, I understand. But I'm happy about it.
I'll tell you what, one person that I want to give a shout out more than any is Nick Pope. PSG had 30 shots tonight.
Fuck me,
they had 7 on target.
Yeah.
And Nick Pope kept them out every single time. So I think, it's gutting the way that you conceded in the last minute, but bloody hell, he had a freaking good performance. And should be man of the match.
I've never been more proud of a draw in my life. Like I'm beyond proud of these lads. I think we're showing my quality. Someone said, "Oh, little Newcastle, you're owned by Saudi money." I mean, we've not spent it really, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if we'd been buying, like, how many of these players are relegation Newcastle, Steve Bruce Newcastle? The majority, I think you'll find. So just remember, you know what I mean? they're in a rebuilding phase with Mbappe, PSG, apparently. Like, some of the shit people are saying, like, I know you're just having a laugh and probably trying to wind me up, but some of it, you got to be a bit accurate. You know what I mean? There's a certain level of reality that we need to stay in. So, yeah, fuck Mbappe. You know, he's a prick, and we all know this. And I just think we're unlucky. Like, we were cruising to a 1-0 win. Bounces off someone's hip, bounces off Livramento's elbow. He couldn't have done anything to prevent that. What the fuck are we doing? Like, but I'm still proud of that. I think that was great. And the fact that 30 shots were taken and only 6 or 7 were on target shows how defensively unreal we are. And yeah, overall good.
I think you have to put this into context with everything that you said. Relegation 2 years ago, threatened.
Mate, it's mental.
Club. Unbelievable, the rise that you've done. You haven't been able to spend as much money as you probably could have. You built a squad, you built togetherness.
Injury crisis.
It's an English.
We've got 12 fit players.
12 fit players. You've got an English manager taking an English team to the Champions League. You know, every single person has written you off. You've got the group of death. Everyone laughed at you and thought that you'd finish in 4th place. You'd be nowhere near it. You wouldn't get any points. Dortmund, PSG, Milan would all absolutely destroy you. And yet, on the last game of the season, the last game of the group stage, you are still in with a shout of qualifying.
That's all we need. And like someone just said in the chat, Big Love, supporting Newcastle is like a brilliant movie. There's so many plot twists. We're going to leave it at that. I appreciate, even if you didn't agree with the analysis, even if you know, whatever. Big love to all the chat. We've had a right good laugh. This has been one of my favourite streams we've ever done.
It's been great.
And even though I didn't get the result I wanted, super proud of the boys. Don't forget, we are live this Sunday. It's Man City versus Spurs, I believe.
Huge game.
Which is a bigger game now, even, given the way Spurs have been conceding the odd goal lately. And Man City. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Craig's nervous.
And, yeah, Craig will probably suffer on that one. But, yeah, big love, guys. Appreciate it. We're going to end the stream now. We'll catch you next week.